Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Clockwork Cantina after a couple of weeks break. I am one of your hosts, Josh902, and this is the other host of the show.
I'm DT3. What's going on, everybody? How we doing today? What's up? What's happening?
Hey guys, it's good to be back. Apologies for those couple weeks off there. We had plans for shows, but I'll just get out of the way early. I had a toothache, and I've had a toothache for about 2.5 weeks. I want to say at this point, I think it's 2.5. It started like in the middle of a week, and it's just awful. It's just not good at all. The DT can tell you I was dying. It was pretty terrible. And I thought I was going to get the tooth removed, and then it turns out I have to actually go to a dental surgeon, so yeah, I still have the fucked up tooth in my mouth right now. I took pain meds, and they make me a little drowsy. So if I fall asleep, DT just scream at me, and we'll get right back to it. It's not going to happen, though, because DT's a voice with me, and we'll be talking. So that's why we haven't had a show in a couple weeks. I was just miserable. I mean, it was awful. Brush your teeth, guys. Like that is in my notes. Is like, take care of your teeth. Brush them, floss them. Do whatever you got to do to not experience this. Because I tell you, it's the worst pain imaginable. Because it's like if I like scratch my arm, I can like put my hand on it and like grab it, and like kind of dull the pain a little bit. You can't do that with no tooth. It's you can't grab that tooth and squeeze it and make that pain stop. It is constant until you get pain meds. So I'm going tomorrow, and I'm gonna have this tooth removed from my dental surgeon. They're gonna gas me up, they're gonna numb it, and they're gonna cut it out of my mouth. So originally it was scheduled to be on March 3rd. But I had to call today to get more antibiotics because I have antibiotics that I have to take because it's infection and stuff. And they're like, we have a cancellation. Do you want to come in tomorrow and just have it removed? And I'm just like, oh, yes. Yes, nice. Give me that date with the dentist on Valentine's Day. So let's get this bitch out.
Yeah.
So that'll I was gonna say that'll be fun.
It'll be relieving to get that out of there.
Yeah. That's true. And they said I'm not gonna feel any pain or anything. They're gonna make sure I'm good and numb, and it'll be sore afterwards. But I'll tell you the God's honest truth. Any pain can't be any worse than what I've already felt, because that shit legit makes you think thoughts you would not think otherwise, and not pleasant ones. Like, man, just.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it's awful. I've always had not very good teeth. I've been really bad at taking care of them, and now I'm paying the price for that. Daniel's mic's a bit low. Okay, I can turn him up.
What's up, Loki?
Thank you for letting me know in the chat. He should be better now, but let me know when he talks.
How about now? How do I sound now? Let me know, or let Josh know, rather.
And it's good. Gotcha.
Right.
And I didn't take care of them growing up, and that is totally on me. I also had phobias of the dentist. I think a lot of us have those fucking phobias of the dentist when we're kids. I had bad experience with the dentist, right? I'm gonna tell this story since we're already talking about it. I was getting, I don't even know how old I was, 11, 12, 13, in that age range, and I was getting a cavity filled, and I was laying there, and I may have told this story in Discord, so DT, you may have already heard this story. I was laying there, and the dentist is drilling, and all I hear him say is, oops. And then I just feel the worst pain imaginable ever in my mouth. And my mouth's hung open, right? So I can't cry, but tears just start streaming out of my eyes because it hurts so bad. And he looked at me and said, did you feel that? And I went, uh-huh. And it numbed me up like even more. And it was just like, after that, when you have experiences like that as a young person, you don't want to go to the dentist, right? Like when you have this person was obviously not very well trained or didn't do the job very well, and it left me with a phobia, and now I'm paying the price for that phobia all these years later at not doing the correct thing by going to the dentist, and not doing the correct thing by taking care of myself. I own that. It's totally on me. I should have been brushing, flossing, and all that. So the reason we're telling this story is so you guys don't make that same mistake. just listen to me when I tell you. You don't want to feel it, guys. You don't want to feel it. I, when I first went to the dentist with that first appointment, I couldn't wait. I was excited to go because I was like, I cannot wait for this tooth to get out. And I'm a little nervous about tomorrow because like I can't. Let's be real. They're gonna cut my fucking mouth open and take a tooth out. Like that's a little nerve wracking, but I'm sure it's gonna be fine. They're gonna numb me up and stuff, but I can't help but be a little nervous. I think that's normal. But that's why we haven't done a show in a couple of weeks. I appreciate Daniel DT being very patient with that those cancellations. I was dying. He knows I was dying. And all I've been doing is I take pain meds and I pass out. Like for like 2 weeks there, I wasn't even in Discord for a little bit. You know, we usually hang out in Discord, you know, every night and play games and or watch movies or watch football or whatever's going on, you know, and I wasn't around very much because I was just sleeping. I was sleeping from the pain meds. So I can't wait for tomorrow to get this over with. At long last, to get this tooth, the son of a gun out that's killing me.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've missed a couple weeks, but what that means is that we've been up to a lot of stuff, DT. And since I've been talking for a minute,
have we?
It is your turn. What have you been up to the past couple weeks?
Oh, have we been up to stuff? So
swap over to our thing.
Yes. As per usual, I've been watching a lot of movies, playing some games, watching some TV, but not as much. But yeah, so let me get into that. So I had been watching the Rocky movies, going through them in order. And since my last update, which I think I saw the first 3 a couple weeks back on our last episode, I have since seen all of them. So Rocky 4, I watched. Rocky 5, I watched. Rocky Balboa, I watched, and I've even seen the first Creed. And I want to watch the second one here pretty soon. I haven't seen it yet, so I want to check that out to get ready in time for the third one. Been keeping up with all the episodes of The Last of Us, so I'm caught up on that all the way from episodes 2 to 5. Been keeping up with The Bad Batch, episodes 5 and 6, I believe. Or 5, 6, 7, and 8, actually, I think now. Is all that we've seen up until this point since our last update. Been playing The Division 2 a lot. Been trying to beat the story, and you know, I'm gonna be making my way through the DLC here pretty soon. In terms of movies, I've seen a lot. Love Actually, Triple R. I rewatched Rush Hour 3, watched Zoolander, Idiocracy, Megan, Chronicle. I even watched what is this? Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse. Sissy from 2022, Eraserhead, Sick, To Die For, Tom Clancy's Without Remorse, Smile, Mid 90s, Jackass Forever, Black Swan, Strange World, The Big Boss, The Wolf House, Bayo, They Live, All That Jazz, Cyber City 808, and then some of the games I've been playing are obviously I've been playing Fortnite. I started playing a little bit more Hunt Showdown recently, as in the past couple of days. Um, Overwatch 2 I played for a little bit. And then I kind of got the itch to play Halo Infinite again. I don't know why. I just kind of like I haven't played this game in a long time, and I remember enjoying Halo a lot when we were playing it a lot back in the day. You know, when it first came out. So I was like, let me hop on and play that again, and I had fun with it. It was pretty cool. Uh, I played a little bit of Ready or Not because they're always updating that. That was cool. I hopped on Sea of Thieves for a little bit just to kind of look at my drops that I got from Twitch and all that. So I didn't really play, but I just hopped on to check it out again for a little bit. Um, what else? Oh, I was streaming Assassin's Creed Rogue the last time we had a show. I've since finished it. I also played this other game called Adios, which was interesting as well. Played it, beat it in like one stream. It was a very short game. I tried a couple betas or demos of some games like Dark and Darker and Operation Harsh Doorstep, and then I tried a NDA technical test for an upcoming game that I had fun with. So obviously I can't say what it is, but when I can, I'll definitely let you guys know what that was. But yeah, I had fun with that. And then I watched watched the Super Bowl yesterday. That was fun. And then like a few weeks back, we watched the Royal Rumble, which was cool. And then in terms of TV, the only other like the non live TV that I've been watching or that I did watch was all season 1 of The Old Man. And I have to say that show was pretty dope. The ending was kind of weird. I do think, especially the way they just decided to end it. I don't know. I'm not gonna say spoilers because I know Josh hasn't seen it yet, but I enjoyed the show for the most part. But there was kind of some the ending. I was kind of like, huh?
I
But
get you.
yeah, I'd be curious to see what you think about it when you get to it. And
Yeah,
then the biggest update for me is I finally have gotten the computer situation
that's right.
taken care of. That's like the biggest update since the last time we streamed.
That's
Because if you
true.
guys remember, I don't remember which episode it was exactly, but a couple episodes back, I was like crapping out in the middle of the show and all that, and uh, so yeah, we finally got the PC situation figured out. I basically had to build a new PC. I kept some parts from the old one, but basically got new parts and built my own PC for the first time, pretty much. And I'm just glad it's over. I'm glad I don't have to worry about that shit no more because that was a frustrating time, let me tell you. Um, but I'm glad it's over now. I even got better internet now too, so it's only upgrades, baby, only upgrades. So
Hell yeah.
I'm happy that all that shit is gone now, and we can move on to other you know, better things. But that's pretty much been what I've been. That's pretty much what I've been up to. Fun stuff anyway. But yeah,
Yeah. Yes, sir. Okay, it's my turn. I just remembered I need to put something on here. I have been, even though I've been in some pain, I did get to watch a couple of things before the tooth thing started. So, and then some stuff during because I couldn't sleep. So I have watched the movie About Time, which is a lovely romance kind of comedy movie. It was I bought this movie and I had never watched it. I cried like a baby watching it. I think we were in Discord one night and like they watched a movie and then I watched a separate movie and we were
yeah,
when we were done I was like, I'm crying, guys. This is so emotional. But great movie. Recommend anybody to check out About Time if you haven't seen it. 2013 movie with Domhnall Gleeson and Rachel McAdams and Margot Robbie is also in that movie. So yeah, really good movie. Enjoyed it. I'm actually behind on the Bad Batch. I've only watched episodes 4 and 5, so I need to watch those. The
oh,
newer
so good,
episodes rather.
so good.
Um, I'm definitely gonna watch those. Um, Next up, I started watching Star Trek Lower Decks. I couldn't sleep, and I was like, I want to watch something, but I don't want to watch a movie. I just want to watch a couple episodes of something quick. And it is funny little Star Trek animated show that's kind of like Futurama-y animated series. It's funny. It's kind of like about the story of Star Trek. You know who's on the main bridge and calling the shots. You know these guys. Star Trek Lower Decks is about the other guys, the guys that are like way down on the other totem pole, and it's pretty funny. It has Jack Quaid is in it, voicing one of the characters, and it's a lot of fun. And I've been watching it, and it cracks me up. I've watched season 1, and I started season 2 of that. Legends of Vox Machina. I've watched all of season 2. It is complete, and it is fantastic. It is better than the first season, and I really liked the first season. They made some changes in the second season that I like. Everything just kind of flows better. It's a little bit less cringy, I guess, at times. Although the first season was kind of finding its feet. Season 2, it's found its feet. It has some great badass moments. DT, I recommend you checking that out, especially since we're into the tabletop RPG stuff again lately.
Yeah, I've seen season 1, but I just haven't started season 2 yet because, like I said, I haven't been watching much TV lately. So
yeah, I got you.
I will try to get on to that when I can because I do want to check it out.
I think you're gonna really enjoy it. It's
yeah. I mean,
really, season 2 is great.
That's good to hear because, like I said, I did enjoy season 1, and I didn't watch any like Critical Role or anything. I just watched the show for what it was, and I did end up enjoying it. So we'll see how season 2 goes.
I will say in season 2, they actually are past the point where I stopped watching the first campaign now. So there's an episode in the later seasons that's like, this is kind of, they even say the name of the episode of the tabletop episode. Like they have, each tabletop episode has its own name, right? And then they did the show. They literally name dropped the episode where I stopped watching that first campaign out. I just didn't have time, and I was like, from here on out, it's kind of all stuff I hadn't really seen before. So that's pretty exciting, and I can't wait. It's pretty dope. It's pretty dope. As well, because I believe they've made some announcements for the Critical Role stuff. I don't know if it's in the news because it's a little bit older now, but we might talk about that if I can dig it up. The Last of Us, I'm all caught up on. I'm enjoying it as a viewer, and as somebody that has not played the game. It's going to be interesting when we do a show on that. I can't wait to talk with DT about that. Somebody that has played and completed the game. So, yeah. The Last Dance. I told DT a long time ago that I was going to watch this fucking documentary. And
yes,
it took a while, but we did it. In the middle of the Great Toothache debacle, I was like, I'm going to watch The Last Dance. I'm going to knock it the fuck out while I'm laid up. And I did, and I really enjoyed it. It is so good. It was cool to watch. Jordan just and not just him, like there's a good focus on the entire team, like in this whole doc series, like Rodman and Pippen, like the coach and all of that. Like it was the backstabbing that was going on, the fucking the ending of like the era there for the Bulls it's
the end of the dynasty crazy. And why they ended it, and the owner, and then it's crazy, especially considering how like he was like, yo, I would have came back if they decided to go for another run, and they just decided not to because but yeah, it's a fantastic documentary.
It was
loved
so
it
good.
As somebody who loves the sport and is a fan of the NBA and history, and Michael Jordan and that Bulls dynasty is one of the greatest teams ever assembled, and they won 6 championships with those guys, and it's just cool like getting to go back and see like some of the history of that last season, and what came before it, and what led to it, and how it ended up just ending. It was it's great. So good.
It's a very emotional doc at times too. Like there's a point where really the one that made me kind of tear up. Honestly, it was Rodman. Like, there's a scene where Rodman is walking. I guess he's in the back, and there's some fans there. And I'm like, hey, look, it's Rodman's taking the time to say hi to these fans, and he signs some things, and there's a kid there, and he signs a thing for a kid, and then he gives him a pair of fucking shoes, like basketball shoes, and I was like, God damn you, Dennis Rodman. You make me cry over this, man. Like, because I could just imagine being that kid and meeting, like, one of the all-stars, like one of the fucking heroes that you care about in your sport that you care about, right? And being a young kid, and then and Rodman taking the time to chat with him, to sign autographs, and then at the end of it to give him like some basketball shoes and shit. Like, that's special, man. And I respect, sports stars that do that. I know Rodman is like a kind of a crazy dude at times, but that was like, that's cool, man. That was cool. So I was like, I respect you for that. I wish it was fresher in my mind. It's been a little bit since I had seen it, and I wanted to talk about it more. But man, I enjoyed it. It was good. I want more docs like that. It was one of those things where it was like, I'd watch an episode and I'd see what time it was to see if I had time for another one. So I would watch quite a few in a row if I had time for it, because I just didn't want to stop. And the whole thing is just it's fascinating, especially because it's a sport that I don't know a lot about. To be honest with you, I'm not a big basketball person really at all. But I got DT here, so if I ever have questions, I have my guy if I need it.
I am. Yeah. Josh is not that much into it, but I am. I'm definitely into basketball.
Mm-hmm. And it's not like I don't like it. It's just I don't understand. Not that I don't understand it. I mean, I just don't watch regularly, like or at all really. So. It's not even that I don't like it.
You should watch some games. You should watch some Hawks games or something.
I'd be down for that.
Try to get you more into it, man.
It'd be cool. I need to be like our friend Paula, who got into the football last night.
Like, she had a good time, man. She was having fun. Yeah,
I was talking to her earlier about the next season in football again. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh man, the Kobe episode.
That shit. That man. It was just the 3-year anniversary of his passing last month, and man, I cannot believe that it's been 3 years already, man. And still to this day, I never met him in person, but like one of the people that like I tell you, man, I cried for like a week straight when he passed away, bro.
I got you.
It was awful, man. It sucks, dude. Sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, that episode definitely hit me hard when it came out, because I was watching that documentary as it came out, because they were like coming out with episodes, like it didn't all come out at once, right? So I would like watch it as they were coming out, and it's like, oh, here, this next one's gonna be the Kobe one. I was like, man, gotta prepare for it. But it's it's always good hearing him or seeing him in other stuff, and I recently watched the Redeem Team documentary, which he was a part of as well, and that shit hit me too, man. So if that's another one that's another one I recommend you check out too. It's on it's also on Netflix for those of you out there who are wondering. The Redeem Team documentary. It's more of a it's more of a singular like hour and however long thing, as opposed to like Last Dance, where it's like multiple episodes. This one is just one thing that you could watch and be done with it. But it's really cool because it has to deal with obviously the Redeem Team, which is the U.S. men's Olympic basketball team of 2008, and they kind of give you a little bit of backstory about like where the where the team was at that point in time, because they're called the Redeem Team for a reason, and if you don't know the history of it, I won't say more than that, other than I'll say you should check it out and see that, because that's another super solid, cool one that also got me with some of the stuff they had in it. But anyway,
yeah,
continue.
The last thing I'm gonna say on it is like, it's just amazing to me how how easy he just made it look. Like he was that dude, man. he would just take off, and it's like the dude is flying. Like it is, he makes it look so easy. Like it's crazy, and I don't know if I've ever known anybody that's that competitive either. That is like, will literally make shit up to fire himself up on the court, right? Like like it's like wow, that is somebody that is super competitive, like, and just made it look. Anytime I'd watch him and he'd go up for, and you know they were showing the footage of him just going up and he'd just go up and dunk and shoot. I was just like, he just makes it look so easy. He just makes it look so easy, and it's also like unselfish at times too. Like just like, I can't make the shot. All right, I'm throwing it over here. He can make the shot. You know, I'm throwing it to Steve. He can make the shot.
Curry, yes, sir.
Yeah, like that's man. Insane. So yeah, watch The Last Dance. Really liked it and enjoyed it. So I'm glad I watched it. Awesome. We watched the Royal Rumble. That was fun. It's a little old now, but that was fun to watch. We watched the Super Bowl last night. That was fun as well. I've television series. I was just sitting in the living room the other day and the TV was on. And my tooth was hurting like it has been. I'm sure everybody's in Discord. I'm sure they are just absolutely sick of hearing me talk about this fucking tooth. Don't worry, guys. It's almost over. But while I was sitting there, my dad had TV on, and it's MASH. DT, have you ever watched the MASH television series at all? Like, or the movie either? Have you ever seen it?
I haven't seen the movie, but like it's been on like TV here and there, so I've seen like some of it, but I never like watched all of it all the way.
So I love MASH. It's one of my favorite like series. As a kid, I didn't appreciate it. As an adult, I love it. And there was an episode on, and it's an episode, and I was just sitting there thinking, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna watch this episode, and then I'm gonna put it in the notes for when we do Cantina next, because this show was made in the 70s, right? And there's an episode called Point of View. And it's, for those of you that don't know what MASH is, it stands for Mobile Army Surgical Hospital, that's set in the Korean War, and they're doctors that are close to the front lines, and they're performing surgery on people. And you usually follow those characters around. You follow the character of Hawkeye and BJ around as they work and do surgery on wounded soldiers. And this episode is different, because it starts with you in the point of view of a soldier that gets ambushed and gets wounded, and the entire episode is shot like from the first person view of you as the soldier. That's the whole episode. And I just thought that was like so crazy for a show in the 70s to like do. It's like the whole time we don't follow any other character. We're just the soldier, and we see his point of view the entire time. Like we are the camera. So when they talked to the actor, they're looking right at you. When there's something going on, they're looking right at you. When they're talking to another character, they're looking right at you. And I just wanted to put that in the notes, because I was like, you know what?
Pretty cool.
That's a crazy episode. So also thank you, Majin, for your sub. DT, if you ever get a chance to watch, there's a few episodes of MASH that I think are really special. The point of view episode is one of those episodes. So if you ever see that episode on, you should check it out, because it's kind of crazy that they did that, in my opinion, in those early TV days. I've already talked about the dentist, so I don't need to put that on here. I played Vampire Survivors for the first time. I've had it. I believe it was a gift from Loki in the chat. I believe gave me a copy. And I finally got around to playing it. I had some free time. And we weren't really playing anything yet at that time. And I've played, I'm going to tell you how many hours. That's why I'm delaying here. I wanted to see how long I've played it. I played 10 hours. And I enjoy it. I like it a lot. It's fun. It's a great to kind of put on if you need a game that doesn't require a ton of thought. It's a good game. I highly recommend checking out Vampire Survivors. It's a lot of fun. I haven't played it a little bit just because I've been doing other things, but I will definitely check it out. I think they just had an update too that added some stuff. And then the last but not least is I'm back on the Division train. I think we're all on it now. Toot Toot is leaving the station. I'm working on the DLC. I'd probably be playing it right now if we weren't doing the show, but we're doing the show because we've missed it for a couple weeks. So
Yeah.
boom, that is everything that we have been up to the last couple weeks, guys. So DT, if we are ready to move into this here news,
Yes, because we have a couple weeks worth of news.
yeah, let's do it.
Is what we got as well. So
Up first is the
let's
gaming
let's
news.
let's get into that.
Let's do it.
So the first thing that I have here is, again, some of this is going to be a few weeks old now at this point, but we're still going to talk about it. First one is that the GoldenEye 007 came out on Xbox and Switch on Friday, the January 27th. They have a little release date trailer.
Oh, yep, let me get that open.
I'll check that out. So it arrived on the Switch as a part of the Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack membership, and you can also purchase it visually on Xbox, and it will be available as on Game Pass as well. Again, this should already be on there, should already be out. This is from a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
But
I have it open
let's
if we want to watch it.
check it out in 3, 2, 1, go. Man, I remember playing this on the N64 back in the day.
Yes, sir.
Good times.
I remember playing with my dad. The nostalgia is so strong right now.
Right? Look at
that. Paintballs. Oh.
Bond. James Bond. So, yeah, it says available January 27th, but again, it's already out.
Yeah.
If you want to play it on your Switch, you can. Relive the old days of playing it on your N64.
For sure.
So that's pretty cool. There was also a Xbox / Bethesda developer direct that came out a few weeks back. So we're gonna talk about some of that stuff too. I actually
That's right. I missed most of this stuff.
I actually watched it on stream when it came out, and so I kind of saw it as it was happening. But let's talk about it. So there was a few things that they showed for it. Honestly, nothing that was super exciting for me personally, but
I got you.
let's just talk about some of the stuff here. So uh Minecraft Legends was the first thing that they showed. Um they got an official gameplay trailer for that if you want to throw that up and we can check it out really quickly. It's a minute 30 seconds.
Yeah, let me get that open. Oop. The heck? Let me full screen. Hang on.
Damn yeah.
Damn yeah. Let me refresh, I guess. It's not letting me full screen it. There we go.
But yeah, Minecraft Legends is a multiplayer action strategy game. Will have both a narrative co-op mode as well as a PvP mode. And this is some of the stuff that we got to see for it. So
all right.
3, 2, 1, let her rip.
It's the pig man.
It is. Man, not the creepers. There you go. There's the co-op. This comes out on April 18th.
Cool.
For Xbox, Game Pass, Windows, Switch, PlayStation, and Steam. So, you know, it's just Minecraft exploring to other different types of games, because obviously they have their main, you know, game that everybody knows. And then they've done kind of other spin-offs here and there, and this is just another, you know, one of those spin-offs that they're doing. That's cool.
Yeah.
The next thing that they had was Forza Motorsport. It was kind of like they had like a developer game, like kind of overview with that, and we don't have to really get into that, but you know, it's just the game. We know we know how good the Forza Motorsport games look. Like they look amazing.
They're pretty. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not really racing car guys here.
The surprise thing of this direct was that they announced and dropped this game called Hi-Fi Rush on the same day. And it was kind of like it gave me like rock it's a rhythm game, but it reminded me like Jet Set Radio, like Sunset Overdrive kind of vibes. And it was made by the people who did The Evil Within, which is this game couldn't be any, you know, further different than that. But it was pretty cool. And honestly, like even though rhythm games aren't really my kind of thing, I may give this game a shot at some point because I thought it looked kind of cool. I enjoyed the art style of it too.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
They had a developer deep dive of Redfall that like 10 minutes of gameplay. Um, you can check out some of that if we want to. We don't have to watch all 10 minutes. We can check out some of that.
Yeah. Did you watch
Um,
this? You've watched the event, so you saw all this.
yeah, I
Okay.
saw most of it. I
What did
think.
you think of it? Do you
I
remember?
mean, it's still. I'll be honest. This game still doesn't really do much for me. Like I don't know. I keep like waiting for them to kind of like show me something that will make me want to play the game. But so far, I'm not about it, dude. Like I don't
I
know.
gotcha.
It just doesn't really. It doesn't do much for me. Like it just feels like a Left 4 Dead with vampires and stuff. But like it doesn't. I don't know. It just doesn't do nothing for me, man.
I
I don't know how to
gotcha.
explain it. But
No,
yeah.
I feel the same because I haven't seen this yet, but from what I've seen earlier, it was like it wasn't grabbing me, right? Like before they
Yeah.
even showed this. So I don't know, man. I it may just be one of those games that ain't for us. Who knows? It may come out though and blow our socks off. Sometimes that happens too.
Yeah,
Like
because
when
I
you're
mean,
not
like
expecting.
normally this type of game is my kind of game. Like the
Right.
4-player co-op, you know, shoot 'em up kind of thing. But I don't know. This
Yeah.
one just doesn't really like. It doesn't grab my attention. Like it just. I don't know.
Like DT and I still go back and play Left 4 Dead 2 sometimes, or we'll still go back and play, Borderlands sometimes. So All right, excuse me. I'm just gonna ban Majin from the chat here. uh, how dare you? Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of skip through this video a little bit and just see.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing too. Yeah, just skip through it because I mean, so if you skip up to like where am I at right now? Hold on. 7:30. Yeah, 7:30.
All right, I'm at 7:30 here. Let's see.
Nests aren't the only psychic spaces. You'll find dangerous pockets all over the
Talking about like the nests and stuff and where the vampires are at, and yeah, be careful when you're maneuvering that.
Redfall won't truly be safe until the vampires are wiped from the map. Outside the main story,
So you can go like neighborhood by neighborhood,
Redfall,
safe houses,
neighborhood by neighborhood.
taking them back from the
Find safe houses
vampires.
hidden all over the island, and then work your way up to the vampire controlling the neighborhood.
There's a siphon in each area which you have to defeat in order to take control of that area.
Whether you dive in solo or with friends, each hero can take on any situation. Each brings powerful, unique abilities to the fight, and the upgrades you choose change how they play. Here, Layla's lift ability can be upgraded
Skill tree
to
looks
launch
kind of
teammates
cool, I
right over
guess.
attacks.
Yeah.
Upgrade Layla's umbrella ability with bullet hail to absorb enemy bullets and release the energy back at them.
Yo, that vampire.
There are many ways to customize your hero's ability tree to match your playstyle.
Nighty night. Let's get some light on the subject.
Let's hit on the arsenal. There's a wide range of weaponry, from military gear to new
Guns, guns,
from
guns.
shotguns to
All
sniper
kinds of
rifles.
weird looking guns.
Well, well.
And of course, there's also vampire stakes. Find these in the world to customize your weapons.
So I skipped up again to like 9:50.
When you reclaim significant sections of Redfall,
All right.
when you prove yourself
So you
against
get
the
a
underboss,
skull.
you'll receive a key of
That's
sorts.
a key,
A skull that gets you one
and
step
then you can
closer
fight
to using
vampire
your ultimate
gods.
threat, the vampire gods.
Vampire
Yeah.
gods. Like from Blade? Some motherfucker always trying to ice skate uphill.
Thank you for all the support you've shown Arcane throughout.
But yeah, that's. I think we can probably stop that there for now.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm sorry. That just does not grab me. I like.
Yeah.
I wish it did.
Unfortunately, it doesn't do much for me.
I wish I did because it's a co-op game, and I have a lot of friends play co-op games with. Yeah.
Yeah. Last thing we got here is they did something for Elder Scrolls Online. They announced a new expansion called Necrom. They got a new class called the Arcanist, and they got some new stuff coming to the map. And all that. I haven't played the game, so I don't really know what
I
too
haven't
much of
either.
what's going on with that. But it's coming on June 5th and June 20th for PC and consoles. And they have a little cinematic about it. But we don't have to watch that if you don't want to watch it.
Nah,
So
I'm fine. We have a lot of news to go through, so I'm
we
fine
do.
with
So
skipping it.
let's move on to the next thing. And what else we got here? Oh, this cool little
Oh,
FPS
yes.
game called
Yes.
Parish, which looks pretty dope. There's a little trailer for it. I thought we'd check it out here.
Yeah, we can watch that.
So let's check this out because I think this game looks kind of cool. It's a short little trailer here.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
I was not expecting to see a shotgun first thing, I'll tell you that. Oh, it's got cards. Neat. What is this soundtrack? I love it. Irish. Neat.
Indeed. So Perish. The game is out already. And it has, like, from what I've seen, kind of reviews.
Mm.
I haven't really looked into why that is, but I think maybe it's just like maybe too repetitive. I'm not sure,
Mm.
but it looks kind of cool. Maybe something that will be worth giving a shot at some point.
How much is
Because
it?
it's another one. It's another one of those. It's $20.
It's not bad. Really? Like,
It's another one of those like 4-player co-op FPS games that we play.
oh,
So that'd be worth giving a shot at some point. But yeah, it is out. So that is that. If any of that look cool to you, check it out.
alrighty.
Moving on. What else we got here? So a while back, there was people thinking that Sony was teasing a new Uncharted game. And even though Naughty Dog has said that they're done with Uncharted, that doesn't mean Sony's done with them.
Mm-hmm.
So they came out with a commercial for the PS5. And in there, they got kind of like glimpses of things, and people are thinking that there's a character in there that kind of looks like it could be the daughter of Nathan Drake and Elena Fisher, which we'll check out this little video here and see what they're talking about. It's like a minute long. Let's
Okay.
check it out.
I'm
All right, when
ready.
you're ready. All right, cool. 3, 2, 1, go.
This is live from PS5. Let's go now to our first story. The good people of Manhattan woke up to a gig
We got
from
Spider-Man
a
2.
hero as he delivered a gang of criminals on something of a webbed platter.
Historic scenes unfolding in San Francisco.
The first of her tribe to have laid eyes on this scene in over 2,000 years.
Oavsett om det här är skimmervintern eller inte så är det...
Boy. Final Fantasy.
Let them fight.
Ratchet and Clank.
Experts are linking all of these events to an increase in activity on PS5.
Story's coming a little fast. A ship crash lands on
Who's
the
just
channel at breakneck
strange
speed.
occurrence?
Sorry to cut you off there.
Shapes appear.
Unprecedented.
Let's go right now.
This was live from PS5, bringing you.
So you see that and you're like, how the fuck does any of this mean we're getting another Uncharted game? So there's like little glimpses in there
Yes, and
of
it's
like this. Go
the
ahead.
thing I just the thing I noticed about it is like they show. Wow, I managed to click right on it by accident. They
yeah, there it
show,
is.
they everything they show in this end little montage. They show all of that earlier in this little ad, but this they don't show. So
Yeah, they don't.
I understand why they. Some people might be thinking, "What is
They-
this?"
It's like in there, so it's enough to get you going like, what the fuck is that? But it
Mhm.
doesn't like show you it up in front like it does like Spider-Man or God of War or any of that other stuff that we know that is coming, you know?
Mhm.
And like, to be fair, the way it's looking, I can kind of see why again people would think that, because yeah, she kind of looks like Cassie, which is Nate and Elena's daughter from the Uncharted games. And yeah, if you scroll down, Josh, in this article, there's a set of screenshots there that we could check out from that you know.
Yeah, let me get that open.
obviously this is all kind of like, wishful thinking or like just people think, wanting it to be the case, but
I can kind of see it though.
I could see it makes
Fucking
sense, right?
yeah. All right, I got the screenshots open. This is the first one, which is where we were frozen on the
Yeah, that's the
on
one
the YouTube.
from the video.
And I'm gonna go ahead and move to the next one.
And then there's her again. Again, these are like we just saw the video, so you know how quickly like some of these shots where you can like barely see them.
Mm-hmm.
And these are all from that. And then the next one, obviously another one is kind of like the close up of her face from it. And then the last shot here is actually Cassie from the game, like from Uncharted. So kind of just to give you a like, could that be her? And I could see that being a thing. It might not be. There's always the possibility that it's not, or that
Mm-hmm.
it probably isn't. But there's always the possibility that it could be too. So that'd be kind of dope. Which, hey man, I know, like I said, Naughty Dog said that they're done with Uncharted. They're kind of just focused on The Last of Us for now. But it's still a Sony, property as well, so they could always continue the Uncharted series with with Cassie and with another studio, right?
Yeah.
So I could see that happening. I think it'd be kind of dope, and yeah, pretty cool.
Interesting.
Moving on from that, we got some E3 news, which is that Xbox, Nintendo, and Sony, all three of them, will not be a part of E3 this year. So E3's first physical event in 4 years will be an event which will not have these three there, which also, I mean, to me it makes sense because like everybody like we were just talking about, fucking Xbox has their own thing, Sony has their state of plays, Nintendo has their Nintendo Directs, like everybody does their own thing now on their own time whenever they want to do it. It's not just like, wait till the summertime when E3 happens and then, we do everything like we used to. Like it ain't 10 years ago anymore, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
this
We
year
all
in
figured
June,
this would
it
happen. We
happened.
talked about it.
Yeah.
We've talked about it like in previous years. It's like, I don't know if we'll ever get the same old E3, and it's looking like
It's
nah,
not.
dog. Not going to.
Yeah, it just makes me wonder like what the hell they're gonna like what are they planning on doing? Because at this point, it kind of just seems like E3 is maybe only gonna be worth it if you're actually there in person at the event.
Yeah.
But like for people who don't, you know, like for us that we just watch the live streams or whatever, it's like what are they gonna have? But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see, I guess. But it's a pretty big blow for them. But like I
Mm-hmm.
said, it's not surprising to I think anybody who's been paying attention to this kind of stuff. So uh they also say that ReedPop began contacting publishers about E3 last fall while promising to book spots in December, but with less than 6 months to go, the sources say there's a lot of missing information. There's not a good sense that there's an understanding what the show is going to be or how it will come together, which is strange coming from a company that does such an amazing job with PAX twice a year. So it's kind of all over the place. And yeah,
Yep.
that's
Yep.
E3 for this year. Who knows what they're going to be doing? But what we do know is that they will not be having Xbox, Nintendo, or Sony.
All right.
Moving on from that, uh, Star Wars Jedi Survivor now has a new release date. Previously supposed to be coming out sooner on March, I believe it was 17th. Now getting pushed back. They put out a little message here on Twitter, which reads, "For the last 3 years, the Jedi team here at Respawn has poured its collective heart and soul into Star Wars Jedi Survivor. We are proud to say the next chapter in the tale of Cal Kestis is content complete. We are now focused entirely on the final stage. Bug fixes to enhance performance, stability, polish, and most importantly, the player experience. Jedi Survivor is a direct response to the feedback from our community, delivering expansive destinations to explore, evolved combat and traversal, and of course, the continuation of Cal and BD's story. Making this game has truly made us a better team. We have pushed ourselves at every level to make this the Star Wars sequel our fans expect from Respawn and Lucasfilm Games. In order for the team to hit the Respawn quality bar, provide the team the time that they need, and achieve the level of polish our fans deserve, we've added 6 crucial weeks to our release schedule. Star Wars Jedi Survivor will now launch globally on April 28th. Thanks to EA and Respawn for giving us the time to deliver the best experience for our players, and to all of you for your understanding. May the Force be with you, Stig, and the Star Wars Jedi team. There it is. Push back a little bit, get that polish going,
Yeah.
and yeah, better delayed than a buggy mess, right?
Yeah, and in terms of delays, 6 weeks is nothing. You know, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we could do that standing on our heads compared to some of the things we wait for. So I'm fine if that's what they need to polish her up and get her bug free as they can. I'm about it, man. I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
Also gives us
same.
a little buffer time between maybe some of the other things, some of the other
Mhm.
releases that we might be playing as well.
Yeah, I'm so excited for this game. I can't. I can wait, but I can't wait because I want to play it. But
I'm definitely looking forward
yeah,
to it. Yeah.
but I don't mind waiting. But I just I'm very excited. Looking forward to it. Can't wait to play it and continue the journey and the story of that because I love the first game. Moving on from that, you have 10 minutes of gameplay for the day before. Or actually, before we do that, there's a gameplay for Jedi Survivor if you want to check that out.
All right.
They they have 9 minutes of gameplay. I don't know how much of it you want to watch, but
No, I haven't watched any of this, so we can watch as much as.
yeah. All right, cool. I mean, I'm down to watch it all because I haven't seen any of it. So
Yeah, I haven't seen any of it.
all right, well, let's check it out then. 3,
Let me get the good quality.
2, 1. Okay.
I'm good.
Here. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. So this is from IGN. They got 9 minutes of gameplay for Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Star Wars Jedi Survivor is February's IGN first, and to kick it all off, we're introducing you to the world of Kobo, a brand new planet
New
that
planet.
Kestis crash lands on early in the game after a secret mission he's involved with goes awry. Enjoy this look at 9 minutes of gameplay on Kobo, and be sure to check IGN all throughout the month of February for much more Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
So the planet of Kobo. Spelled Koboh.
That is one big beast.
Tronto shell, huh?
We have our target. Now
I don't know why I thought he was gonna say that's one big bitch, but he wouldn't say that in Star Wars. That's us if we were in Star Wars.
Last time I saw a Lucre Hulk was Braca.
Oh, look at that. Damn.
That's cool.
Fucking Lucre Hulk battleship. That's cool. So this planet is gonna be
it's
having
battle
some kind of
droids.
separatist presence. Yep, we got some B1s. New enemy type. That's cool. So this is like an old separatist holdout or something, maybe, or very curious to see how this plays into it. And this guy, I don't know if he's like a mercenary or a.
I was trying to get a good look at him. He looks neat.
He just seems like a basic enemy though, so.
Yeah. I just mean he looked cool. I like this design.
Yeah. Damn.
That poor droid.
Battle droid. What is that? More creatures to fight, man?
I don't know. He looked jacked though.
Oh, that's a B2. Look at that motherfucker. Yeah.
Damn.
Nice. That's cool. Nice. Yeah, split the sabers. That's really cool. That's one thing that I'm excited about for this one, because like,
whoa, that move was cool.
They kind of let you do it for a little bit in the first game, but not really. So I like that it's more kind of like Jedi Academy, where you kind of like get to switch your styles up, you know?
Yeah.
Going from single blade, double blade to two sabers. So that'll be fun. Switch it up depending on the enemy type you're fighting. Bro, that thing throwing rocks, bro. Watch out. Ooh.
They are no joke.
Okay. Whoa.
Please let me go. We won't prospect in the gorge again.
You hear that?
No. Do it.
Hmm. Oh, damn, they killed that guy.
Call it in. Another one down. Raven.
These poor battle droids, man, just never standing a chance. Oh, nice. That was cool. Throw it back at him. Hey, the commando droids, dude, that's cool.
You think I can do that, BD?
Oh, these little critters. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left. All the way up. Save point or not.
You gotta meditate there, Cal.
Yeah,
What if you
dude,
die?
What are you doing, man? The Southern Reach. Cool, cool, cool.
This is a big ass planet.
One thing I noticed earlier was the map kind of changed. It looked more readable than it did in the first game. Because in the first game, as cool as I think the map looked, it was very hard to read.
Yeah.
Like, I like the really hologram look of it, but it was very difficult to know where the fuck you were. Especially if there was multiple levels of that map.
Yeah. I got lost a lot.
Yeah. And we're killing all the wildlife, huh? I thought Jedi weren't supposed to do that, man.
Damn, it took his head off.
You really did? Look at that. Man. They're just dicing up these things, dude.
All right, if you let me do it with monsters, let me do it with, you know, people. Damn.
Just chopping heads off, man.
Dropping bodies.
That's a big old skeleton.
A loot.
Gotta unlock this.
Open it up, BD. Bomber
It's a-
jacket. That's way cooler than a
yeah.
shitty poncho, dude.
Thank God. I'm glad they showed that. But what if it had been a poncho? Just as a joke. That'd have been so funny.
I mean, as long as it's a cool looking poncho. My beef was that a lot of the ponchos were stupid looking. As long as the clothes looks cool, I don't care. But If
Yeah.
it's like goofy looking or silly looking, like why would I ever want that?
If it's one thing players want, it's always more customization.
Give me the drip, dude.
Mm-hmm. Oh damn.
Huh. I'm liking these like finishers we're seeing.
Yeah.
They're pretty cool.
Oh man, I wanna see the skill tree.
Open it up. Hey, Forseco.
Things. I'd like to know what's in them too. But we don't have that kind of time or resource. So no. And please stop asking.
All right, well that looks like that's gonna be the end of it. That was a pretty quick 9 minutes, man.
Yeah,
Okay.
it sure did feel like it, didn't it?
All right. Well,
Cool. I'm excited for that.
yeah. Very excited for that. Very, very, very excited for that. All right. So, the next thing we have here, it was gonna be gameplay for this other game, but I just checked the video and it's no longer up. So,
Well, there's a reason too. That game is sketchy, from what I've
Oh, is
heard.
it?
Yeah, there's some sketch ass shit going on with that game.
I did hear something about like the name or something like that, but I don't, you know.
It's a whole rabbit hole of things, to be honest.
That's fine. We don't have to get into that right now.
Yeah, no.
We're skipping
We
it
don't have
anyway.
time for that.
So the last couple things we got here is this. There was a Nintendo Direct also recently, and we're gonna just talk about that. It was last Wednesday, so let's talk about the stuff that we saw there from that real quick. The first thing that we had for that, they showed off Pikmin 4.
I love
And they talked
Pikmin.
about the release date, which is gonna be July 21st.
My birthday.
There you go. Pikmin 4 coming out on your birthday. That's
It
they had a
is.
little video for that. They talked about Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Well, the expansion pass, which is going to be coming out later this month, and then they had a sneak peek of story stuff coming later this year. There was another game called Samba de Amigo Party Central, Fashion Dreamer, the Dead Cells Return to Castlevania DLC, Tron Identity. They had a little bit of a gameplay trailer for that. Ghost Trick, which is a Phantom Detective. Well, it's called Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. They had all videos for this, so if you guys wanna check them out, definitely look them up. There's another one called Deca Police. Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon. Splatoon 3 and its expansion pass, Disney Illusion Island is like a platformer game that they showed. Fire Emblem Engage, talking about their expansion pass. They also teased packs 3 and 4. Harmony: The Fall of Reverie was announced in a teaser. Octopath Traveler 2 had a demo launch trailer. Bandai Namco announced We Love Katamari Reroll plus Royal Reverie coming out on June 2nd. There's a new turn-based RPG called Sea of Stars coming on August
I downloaded
10th.
the demo for this, and I heard it's good. because it's very Chrono Trigger. So I'm gonna try that demo out. I haven't played it yet, but I downloaded it before the show.
Nice.
I'll let you guys know
There's,
next week.
There's a free-to-play air hockey game called Omega Strikers. Etrian Odyssey is hitting the Switch on the 1st of June, called the Etrian Odyssey Origins Collection. Nintendo finally announced a date for the delayed Advance Wars 1+2 reboot camp, which is going to be on April 21st. Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe has a new demo, and it's launching on the 24th of February. They have some new news for the Nintendo Switch membership stuff, which they're gonna be bringing the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games to it, which I thought was fucking cool. Pretty
That's
dope.
pretty dope.
There was a huge announcement that they remastered the original Metroid Prime, which the game is out now on the eShop, and the physical versions will launch on March 3rd. Which that looked really cool. I remember playing that back on the GameCube like 20 years ago or whenever it came out.
I got you.
And that's really cool. That I thought was one of the most exciting things that they showed. Master Detective Archives Rain Code is a lucid noir detective adventure that is launching on the Switch on June 30th. Remasters of Batten Kaitos 1 and 2 are coming to the Switch this summer. They're calling it the Batten Kaitos 1 and 2 HD remaster. They're coming out with another game called Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time, for everybody who loves Animal Crossing / Stardew / My Time at Portia, all those kind of games that are similar like that. That's another game that looks just like that. Professor Layton and the New World of Steam. They do another one of those. They're coming out with Wave 4 of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pack DLC. With Yoshi's Island, and they're adding a new racer, Birdo. And then finally, the last thing that they showed was probably the coolest thing here, which is the Tears of the Kingdom official trailer number 2 for The Legend of Zelda. And it looks pretty dope. Coming out May 12th.
Hell yeah.
That was all
Cool.
the stuff that they showed at the Nintendo Direct.
Which of these got you, DT? Which ones do you want to play? Anything? I know
So
you
the Metroid
last
Prime
one.
remastered looks cool. The Legend of Zelda: The Tears of the Kingdom also looks great. And then that's pretty much it. I
Gotcha.
think the Game Boy stuff for the Switch is cool too, but other than that, nothing really, grabbed my attention.
For me, even though I haven't really watched the videos, I'm interested in Octopath Traveler 2 because I think that if they do that well, that's going to be cool. I'm interested in the Sea of Stars, which I have the demo for, but I haven't tried yet. Advance Wars 1 and 2, I want to play that. And I think that's it. So those are my picks here.
Cool. All right.
Cool.
We can move on to the last piece of gaming news here.
Let's do it.
Which is that Dead Island 2 is launching a week early. So there's a lot of games that get delayed. This one is coming out a week early. Coming out on April 21st, 2023. Originally supposed to be releasing on April 28th. They put out a little tweet with a video attached to it. If you want to check that out, it's a quick little 20-second thing. But yeah, I think it's cool. They're like, you know what? Drop it a week early. We're ready to go. Why not?
I was trying to play the video, but some
playing.
things want to be whack. There we go. I got it. Here, we'll just play it. 20 seconds.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
There it is. I still need to play the other ones,
Yep.
so I won't get to this until I play the older ones. So that'll be pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah, that is all of our gaming news for this week and the past several weeks. But don't you worry, because boy, oh boy, do we got other TV and movie news.
All right, let's just keep it rolling then. TV news, DT, what's up first?
Let's do it. So for the TV news, The Last of Us has been renewed for season 2 by HBO. This was,
Shocker.
I think, I think it was renewed like after the first episode or something like that. Like, yeah, the premiere hit like 22 million viewers. Again, this is like old news at this point
Mm-hmm.
because we're on episode fucking 6 next week. But yeah, the show's doing really well. It's been pretty good so far, and yeah, they are killing it. So good
They
for
are.
them, and yeah, it's doing well. Next up, uh, there's a Tomb Raider TV series in the works for Amazon. Phoebe Waller-Bridge is going to be writing the script for the project. Um, so it's in the development stages, and it's coming from a new, recently renewed overall deal that Phoebe Waller-Bridge is getting with Amazon. She's attached to write the scripts, and she does not plan to star in it. Uh, and obviously we've had like different, versions of the character in video games and movies and animated stuff. So we'll have to see who is going to be playing her in this TV show. But it's the latest project in the several many Tomb Raider things that are going to be getting here in the near future, I think. So we'll see what happens with that. But I mean, hey, if they do it well, it could be pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I like the games and I like the movie, the most recent one. So yeah. Speaking of things coming back to TV, guess who else is coming back to TV, my friend? Mr. Hank Hill is coming back to sell you propane and propane accessories because a King of the Hill revival has been ordered by Hulu. Mike Judge, Greg Daniels, and the original cast is set to return. Uh, so yeah, Hulu is reviving King of the Hill from 20th Television Animation with co-creators Mike Judge and Greg Daniels set to return, as well as a beloved former cast. Judge will reprise the role of Hank Hill, while Kathy Najimy will be back as his wife Peggy. Stephen Root as Bill, Pamela Adlon as Bobby Hill, Johnny Hardwick as Dale, and Lauren Tom as Min. The reboot has been in the works since the 2017 San Francisco Sketchfest, where Judge and Daniels reconnected with the cast and celebrated the 20th anniversary of the old Fox animated show. We are also excited to welcome back Hank, Peggy, and Bobby and to see what they have to say about the world we live in and continue the conversations we began years ago, said Craig Erwich, president ABC Entertainment, Hulu, and Disney branded television streaming originals, said in a statement. This show has all the perfect ingredients to meet this moment in animation at Hulu. We are so thankful to be having those conversations alongside this talented group. The show, set in the fictional Arlen, Texas, follows the life of Hank Hill, an enthusiastic seller of propane and propane accessories. His wife, Peggy, local boggle champ and substitute teacher, and their 13-year-old son, Bobby, who defies any expectation his father had for his son. Uh, so yeah, that's pretty cool. The original show ran from 13 seasons from 1997 to 2010 and is a top performer at Hulu. And yeah, this isn't the first animated Fox show that Hulu is doing either. We know that they're doing the Futurama revival too. So
Mm-hmm.
they're bringing back old Fox TV shows over at Hulu. So
It's true.
Keep an eye out for that. I like both Futurama and King of the Hill, so
Same.
definitely very curious to see what they're gonna be doing in the future for both of these. We'll be keeping an eye on that, and we'll be letting you guys know, what we know as well with that. So, yeah, that's that'll be fun. Baba, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, Bob. You can't just drop in my chat and say that.
He just comes in the chat to say that. I'm like, what the fuck? I want to talk about King of the Hill. It's like, what? Anyway, moving on to we're sticking with animation, but moving on to Amazon again. Amazon has inked Critical Role to an overall TV and first look film deal.
Oh, we didn't even know, Baba. You're fine.
Greenlights the Mighty Nine animated series. So Amazon has announced a multi-year exclusive overall TV deal with Critical Role, the media company and D&D role-playing group behind Prime Video's popular adult animation series, The Legend of Vox Machina. The first new series to be produced under the agreement is Mighty Nine, based on Critical Role's second campaign, which ran from January 2018 to mid-2021. The Mighty Nine adventuring party, a band of criminals and misfits, are the only ones who can prevent the kingdom from plunging into chaos when an arcane artifact capable of reshaping reality falls into the wrong hands. Mighty Nine is set to begin production shortly in partnership with the animation studio Titmouse, which has teamed with Critical Role and Amazon Studios for Vox Machina. The series will premiere exclusively on Prime Video, but there's no release date as of yet.
I am super excited for Mighty Nine because my favorite character's in it. Ford. He's right there.
Look at that.
Oh, I can't wait.
He's got the statue chilling in the back.
I do. I love Ford. Played by your boy Travis. That's exciting.
Yeah, that's again, I didn't watch any of it, or I've never seen any of it or anything like that. So all I know is what I've heard from you guys say and talk about. And even then, that's very little. So I'll just end up watching the show based off what it is, just like I did with the Vox Machina one. But yeah, under the Amazon Studios deal, Critical Role will continue to produce under its production banner Meta Pigeon, which will develop its own original TV shows, films, and content while continuing to partner with talented creatives on a new slate of projects, both in and out of the Critical Role universe, according to the companies. With the success of our animated series, Legends of Vox Machina, we are looking forward to continuing our relationship with the Critical Role and expanding its universe with Mighty Nine, said Vernon Sanders, head of global TV at Amazon Studios. Expanding these iconic franchises to our global Prime Video customers, it continues to be an ambitious and rewarding journey we are eager to see where this new series takes us. Travis Willingham, co-founder and CEO of Critical Role, said Critical Role's live stream campaigns are the spark that lit the flame for our worldwide audience. Seeing the stories and characters from our first campaign come to life in Legends of Vox Machina was a dream realized. And we're absolutely buzzing with excitement to do it again with the Mighty Nine. But with today's announcement, we're confident that the stories we tell will keep expanding into realms of entertainment beyond that we can even imagine. So yeah, there we go. There's even a little video, which I don't know what this shows, but yeah, if you want to check it out, Josh, it's like 1:13.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm asking you to open your heart to chaos.
I'm either very unlucky or cursed, and I don't believe in luck.
I am your god. Long may I reign.
I want to unlock these mysteries. I want to dive as deep as I can into that ocean of the unknown.
I am of the Empire, but I am no friend to the Empire.
I protect him. He's my boy, and I keep him safe.
You need me more than I need you.
We may be heroes that no one knows about.
No, Bob, I'm getting chills and I'm kind of tearing up a little bit too. Because they're hitting those good lines.
Mighty Nine.
all-new original series coming to Prime Video.
There you go. There's a little teaser for the new show coming.
Those are some of the best lines from that show. The fucking, "You need me more than I need you." Ah, oh, I'm so excited. Can't wait.
All right. Cool. Next up, what do we have? We have some Netflix finally renewed a show as opposed to
Hey!
canceling it.
Woo!
So they have decided to renew that 90s show for another season at least. They announced that just 2 weeks after the premiere of the first season, and it'll also be longer than the first season. So it'll be 16 episodes up to 10 from season 1. And they said all of us at that 90s show will be unexcited by the warm, enthusiastic response to our first season. Co-creator and showrunner Greg Metler said in a statement, "We can't wait to return to Point Place for another summer of laughs and surprises. Hello, 1996," added co-creator and executive producer Lindsay Turner. "We owe the fans, old and new, for taking their trip with us in the first season, and we can't wait to be there with them in the second season." So yeah, that's pretty cool. I haven't started the first season, but I do plan on checking it out because I was a fan of that 70s show.
Mm-hmm.
So I do want to check it out just out of curiosity's sake. The trailer, honestly, didn't the new characters didn't really do much for me, but I don't know. I'll have to just check it out and find out for my own and see what it is and form my own opinion on it because like I said, I am a fan of the original show and I want to see what they did this season. So yeah. But I think it's cool that they did renew it because we know how they are with that. But yeah. Speaking of renewals, 1923 has landed a season 2 renewal over at Paramount Plus as well. Obviously 1923 is the Yellowstone prequel that has Harrison Ford and Miss Helen Mirren in it as well. And they have renewed it for a second season after the drama's record-breaking first season, where it became the most watched series premiere on cable in 2022. I still need to watch this as well. So I can't really speak on the first season itself, but it sounds pretty cool. And pretty good. But yeah. I'm definitely excited to check out when I get a chance to checking it out because I want to watch 1883 first and then move on to this and then Yellowstone, so I kind of have the plan of watching them in that order.
Yeah.
But I did like the first 2 episodes of 1883 that I did see, so I gotta go back and check out the rest of it. But this is cool. This means it's good. I don't know how many seasons they have planned for this show.
I don't know.
Because I think 1883 was just the one season, right?
Yeah, they just did the one thing.
The one season. This apparently is getting at least, at the
2.
very least, 2 seasons, if not more. I mean, I don't know how many they plan on doing with this, but I don't know. You've seen Yellowstone, yeah?
Most of it. I haven't seen the new season.
So when does Yellowstone? Is it just current day?
Yeah,
Like present day?
it's modern day. Yeah.
So it just
present day.
starts in what, the 2010s or 20s or whatever.
Something like that.
Okay.
I think. Let me see.
'Cause I'm just trying to figure out how many fucking prequel shows they can do at this point.
Season 1 takes place in 2018.
Okay, so
And then each season after that takes a year. So
a year.
19
All
and
right.
20.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. I was just curious.
I never really thought about it, but yeah.
Well, because I'm just they got 1883, 1923. Are they gonna do a fucking 1983 or a
Right?
fucking 2003 or you know?
Let's look at the 90s. Let's go.
Yeah, 1993. Let's get it. Anyway, yeah, I plan on checking that out, but I haven't started yet. So I think it bodes well that when there's something that you haven't seen and it gets renewed for another season, that kind of gives you like, oh, cool. I definitely want to check this out. Like not like when you not like when you want to watch something, you're like, it's been canceled after the first season. You're like, oh well, I'm not gonna watch that anymore. But yeah. Next up is more Amazon news, and it's that Spider-Man Noir is getting a live action series over at Amazon. Uh, in a article from Variety, they say that the untitled series will follow an older, grizzled superhero in 1930s New York City. An individual with knowledge of the project says that the show will be set in its own universe, and the main character will not be Peter Parker. Well, I mean, obviously. Uh, the second known project based on the Sony-controlled Marvel characters. It was previously announced that Amazon was moving forward with the series Silk, Spider Society from showrunner Angela Kang. With several other shows in the works, it is unknown at this time which other Marvel characters will be featured in the other Amazon shows, though Sony currently controls over 900 such characters associated with the Spider-Man franchise. Um, but yeah, we know that Sony is wanting to do Spider-Verse character TV shows over at Amazon. And like this article said, we know that they are already doing one for Silk. They're doing one for now Spider-Man Noir. And I could see them doing one for like 2099. And like there's so many different spider people they can make a show for. Especially if you like make them set in their own universe, like where you don't have to worry
Mhm.
about like any other thing. I think that could be cool. And then like maybe eventually if you wanted to, you could do like a live action Spider-Verse thing where you kind of collide them all together, but you don't really have to do that. You can just do them be their own separate thing. So I think that's cool. And I like Spider-Man Noir. I kind of like I think it'd be cool if they just brought back Nicolas Cage from the
Right.
movie and have him be live action. But
Yeah.
I don't know who they're planning on casting for that. I think either way, this could be one of the more interesting like Spider-Man spin-off things that they do. Um so yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It sounds promising though. Like I'm definitely intrigued. I want to see what they who they cast and who's involved and how they do it and all that. But yeah. Uh, the last thing that we have here for the TV news is that Spartacus is getting a revival over at Stars. Creator Stephen S. DeKnight will develop a sequel to the early 2010 series that was a breakout for for Stars. Um, so Stephen S. DeKnight says he's writing a new take, and Star says it will expand on the original. Uh, he says it's such an incredible honor to be invited to return to the world of Spartacus and to be met with an unbridled creative support from my colleagues at Stars and Lionsgate. Together, we are crafting something truly unique and unusual for the next chapter of this epic story. Uh, Spartacus Blood and Sand premiered in January 2010 on Stars and was a hit for them, setting ratings marks that would stand for several years, eventually toppled by the likes of Outlander and Power. The series, known for its hyper-real, violent action, starred Andy Whitfield as the title character, and after he was diagnosed with stage 4 Hodgkin lymphoma following the first season, they filmed their prequel miniseries, Gods of the Arena, featuring some characters from the main series. And following his death in 2011, Liam McIntyre took over the role for the final 2 seasons, subtitled Vengeance. And this new chapter is set in the aftermath of the slave army's defeat and will depict a new tale of treachery, deceit, and blood unfolding beneath the foreboding shadow of Rome. Is the description of the project. Stars says it will also update will update feature characters from the original series, though no specifics are in place yet. So I actually really like Spartacus, so I think this is cool. So I'm about it.
Oh, I have not seen it.
Oh,
Maybe
so
I'll check it
good.
out at some point.
Yeah, you definitely should. I think you'd like it.
DT, I'm gonna swap us over to the movie news, and I need to go get some pain medicine because I'm starting to hurt, buddy. So I'll be right back. But you
Go for
continue
it.
on.
So moving on over to the movie news. We have our Oscar nominations for 2023. Now, I'm not going to go over all of them, but I do at least want to go over the Best Picture nominations at the very least, because there's a lot of pretty cool movies on here. Some I have seen, some I haven't. But as always, for me personally, whenever we get the nominations for for the Oscars, I like to watch all of the Best Picture ones just so I can have an opinion on all that stuff, because I like movies. You guys know that. I like watching movies. I watch a lot of movies. And I've been watching a lot of movies this year. I've been trying to do like one a day at least. And I've been up until this point, I've been doing good on that. Um and we have a lot of options on here. I think I want to say that for this year, this is one of the years that we've had probably the most. I don't remember usually how many options we have for Best Picture, but I feel like this year we have quite a bit. Like there's a lot of choices this year. But without further ado, let me get into that and name some of them off. So for Best Picture, the 2023 Oscars, we have All Quiet on the Western Front, which I have not seen, but I do plan on checking out, obviously. Avatar: The Way of Water, still haven't seen, but I want to check out. The Banshees of Inisherin, I haven't seen, but I've been meaning to watch, so I'll probably check that out soon. Elvis, which is another one I haven't seen, but I do want to watch as well. I've been meaning to watch it too. Everything Everywhere All at Once, which I have seen. The Fablemans, haven't seen yet, but I do want to. Tar, another one I've been meaning to watch, but I haven't yet. Top Gun Maverick, which I have seen. And then we have Triangle of Sadness and Women Talking, which I haven't seen those either. So out of all of these, the only ones I've seen so far are Everything Everywhere All at Once and Top Gun Maverick. Like I said though, I've been meaning to watch The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, The Fablemans, and Tar for a little bit now. So I need to check those out and just watch all of these, because I'm a little behind this year on usually I've seen more of the Oscar movies by this point, but this year I just despite me watching a lot of movies, I have not seen a lot of these yet. So I definitely plan on doing that soonish. Um, Best Director, we also have Ruben Ostlund for Triangle of Sadness, Todd Field for Tar, Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Martin McDonough for The Banshees of Inisherin, and Steven Spielberg for The Fablemans. And obviously, there's so many other nominations, like Best Actress and Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress, Best Original Screenplay, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best International Feature, Best Animated Film, which, by the way, we have Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, which I haven't seen. Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. That movie is great. It is honestly very wholesome and such a lovely little movie if you haven't seen it. Puss in Boots: The Last Witch, which I love that movie. I think that movie is so cool. It's so good. There's a lot of it's really well done. The Sea Beast, which I haven't seen, and then Turning Red. There's a lot of strong options this year, I think, for animated feature. So yeah, I have the only ones I haven't seen are the Sea Beast and the Pinocchio one, so I have to check those out. But the other ones I all really enjoyed. Marcel the Shell with Shoes On and Puss in Boots and Turning Red. Those are all really good. But then yeah, we also have Best Documentary Feature, Best Original Score, Best Original Song, Best Cinematography, Best Editing, Best Production Design, Best Costume Design, Best Makeup and Hairstyling, Best Visual Effects, Best Sound, Best Live Action Short, Best Animated Short, and Best Documentary Short. I'm not gonna name all those off because that's just way too much to name off. But if you guys want to see what that is, I'm sure you can go look it up online. It's probably it's everywhere by now. I mean, obviously. But yeah, I just wanted to name off some of the best picture ones, and then also best animated feature, because I've seen some of those and they're really good. Like I said, Marcel the Shell and Puss in Boots are both fantastic little movies. Turning Red was also very good. So definitely go give those a shot if you haven't. And yeah, I need to watch the rest of the Best Picture movies because I've only seen fucking two of them. I gotta catch up and watch the rest of them. But
I'm back.
yeah, welcome back. I was just talking about the Oscar nominated movies.
Cool.
Which I'm not gonna get into all that again. But
I got you.
I was just out of curiosity, and so the people know, Josh. How many of these have you seen? The Best Picture ones? Because I've only seen
Let's
two of 'em.
see. I've seen All Quiet on the Western Front, so that's one.
Yep.
And I've seen Top Gun Maverick, so I've seen two. That's it. I
Hey,
haven't seen
so
anything else.
I've also seen two. I've seen everything everywhere all at once in Top Gun, so I gotta watch the rest of them. But yeah, there's a lot of good options on here, and yeah, definitely want to try to catch up on some of that stuff that I haven't seen, so that I can be aware and have an opinion on some of the stuff. But by the time
For
Oscars roll around.
sure. All right,
Moving
gang.
on.
I'm all drugged up. Let's do this. I even have food too. My dad
Nice.
gave me some food. What was the next?
Moving on to the next thing, we have some casting news for Marvel's Thunderbolts. Ayo Edebiri, who Josh, you may recognize because she is from The Bear.
Oh yeah, yes, I know exactly who she is.
Ayo Edebiri is joining Thunderbolts in an undisclosed role. I haven't seen The Bear yet, so that's I was like, Josh, you know who she is better than I will. But yeah, she's gonna be joining the Marvel Thunderbolts in an undisclosed role. But yeah, she has been kind of on fire since appearing on FX's The Bear, which debuted in June
Bear's so good.
2022. And she's going to be appearing in this other movie called Theater Camp, which has been premiered at the Sundance Film Festival. And then she'll be appearing in another LGBTQ coming of age comedy called Bottoms, which is set to premiere on Amazon Prime Video later this year. So yeah, I don't know much about her because I haven't seen her in much stuff, but I wanted to put this in here because as somebody who has seen The Bear, I'm
Mm-hmm.
curious on your thoughts on like, who maybe she could be, or like how like just like how good is she in The Bear?
She's fantastic in The Bear. Who she's gonna be in this, I have no clue. But she's like the second main lead or third main lead in The Bear. I feel like everybody's like pretty equal in that show of the mains. Like which is like the three. She definitely has a very important role in the show of The Bear, and she's fantastic. In fact, she has like one of the best. There's an episode of The Bear. Man, DT, you gotta watch The Bear so we can talk about it. There's an episode of The Bear that will like, yeah. I don't even want to talk about it too much, but she's great. Who she's gonna play, I have no fucking clue though. But I'm glad she is gonna be somebody in the, and I hope it's somebody important in the
Marvel
MCU. Yeah. Because she's great. I like her.
Cool. Well, yeah, I just want to throw this in here because I'm like, oh, she's someone for The Bear, and I know Josh has seen it, and I haven't, so maybe he'll have some.
And I recommend it to everybody too. It's good.
Yeah, I gotta find more time to watch fucking TV stuff, man. Because
I got you.
It's it's a lot to
It's
watch
hard.
with so many episodes. Yeah, that's why I watch movies more because it's easy to just throw on a movie and be like, all right, one and done. As opposed to a TV show where it's like, oh, I gotta watch 8 episodes or 10 episodes of this, and it's like, oh man. Anyway, moving on. So remember how earlier we were talking about there being some Tomb Raider projects coming up in the works, and they're doing a TV show and more games and all that.
Yes.
Well, there is also a Tomb Raider film in the works over at Amazon because they made a big deal for a Marvel-like franchise. We're having a Tomb Raider verse over here at Amazon because the goal is to tie or to connect the Phoebe Waller-Bridge TV show, the video game, the movie, and possibly more together.
Hmm.
So sources tell the Hollywood Reporter that the retail giant and streamer has teamed with Dimitri M. Johnson's DJ2 Entertainment for a massive rights deal to make a Tomb Raider feature film. In addition to the newly announced TV series from Phoebe Waller-Bridge and at least one video game in the Lara Croft franchise. The idea is to build out a connected world of Tomb Raider, with the video game, TV series, and film all interconnected in a fashion akin to what Marvel has already accomplished. The Tomb Raider video game was announced in December, with additional games in the franchise considered likely. One source with knowledge on the pack described it as being among the largest commitments at Amazon after The Lord of the Rings by comparison. Amazon is estimated to have spent $250 million on rights alone to Lord of the Rings, with the deal covering a multiple season show, The Rings of Power, as well as spin-offs. With Waller Bridge attached to write the script of the TV series, the THR exclusive reported, as THR exclusively reported, the Fleabag Emmy winner is not involved in the film or the game. I lost my place of what I was reading. Phoebe Waller-Bridge is said to be a big Tomb Raider fan and was eager to be involved with the TV series. Though she is not currently attached to star in the project that has a series greenlit built into the larger Tomb Raider rights deal, her involvement in the Tomb Raider series stems from her recently renewed overall deal with Amazon. DJ2 Entertainment put together a deal for the Tomb Raider anime series at Netflix, which included a 2-season order. The company has spent the past year working out the rights to the Tomb Raider games after Embracer completed its acquisition of Square Enix assets. So we got a Tomb Raider verse coming, and they're trying to connect the games, the movies, and the TV shows all together, which it seems like a lot of things are trying to do now, which I think is kind of cool, but can be difficult at times if you're not all on the same page. So as long as everybody's on the same page, they're all kind of working together to keep it consistent, it'll be good. But yeah, it all depends on just how they pull it off, I suppose. Um, but yeah. Moving on to some DC news. We have Dave Bautista talking a little bit more about DC, and we kind of had his thoughts. Well, we've had him talk a lot about stuff in the past month or so, like him talking about like Drax and Marvel, and him wanting to be more of a serious actor and all that stuff, and now he's talking about how in the past he wanted to play the role of Bane in DC, but after talking with James Gunn, he's like kind of letting go the idea of wanting to play the character, because he's like, basically he said like they're going to be starting up a new universe, and you're going to need younger actors for that, because you're going to want to have these guys play these characters for years. And to me, as in Dave Bautista, he's like, I don't want to keep up with the physicalness of that anymore. Like, I don't want to do that stuff anymore,
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, as much as I wanted to play Bane, I don't want to play Bane. I'm not the guy for you, because you're gonna need to play this character for years, and I just don't want to do the physical stuff anymore. So he kind of is just letting that go. Um, But yeah, in his own words, he said, I've had conversations with James about that, but I think the direction he's leaning in, completely rebooting that whole universe, he's starting from scratch, and I think you need to do that. He says, you need to start to plan for the next 15 years, and I just don't think you can do that with me. And I understand that. And I also have to say that I appreciate that, because I don't want to play a character that I can't bring justice to it. I don't think at this point in my career that I can bring justice to Bane anymore. I just don't know if I could handle the physical part, and I don't think I would have the longevity to plan ahead for films. So I just don't know if I'd be that guy. But yeah, this is all coming from years of him being vocal on Twitter to wanting to play Bane. And the last time we had Bane in a live action movie was Tom Hardy in 2012 Christopher Nolan film The Dark Knight Rises. And yeah, he says, I've made no secret about this. I want to play Bane so bad. I went to Warner Brothers, had an appointment with him, had an appointment with DC, walked in the door, and I said, I want to play Bane. I'm not kidding. But yeah, he's kind of just letting that go now because he kind of understands he's like, you can't count on me being physical for another 15 more years. Like I just don't want to. I don't want to do that no more. I can't be doing that anymore. So good for him, and being like, I want to play this character, but the way you're going about it and rebooting everything, can't do it.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of DC and rebooting, we have a video to watch because James Gunn revealed part of his plan for chapter 1 of the new DC Studios master plan that we had heard so much about. So let's throw it up and check it out, and we'll talk about it here, Josh.
Yeah, let's do it
for a little bit. So yeah, a little 6-minute video. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, I'm James Gunn. I'm the co-CEO of DC Studios. So as many of you know, DC has been disconnected in film and television for a long time. And it's one of our jobs, mine and Peter's, is to come in and make sure the DCU is connected in film, television, gaming, and animation. That the characters are consistent, played by the same actors, and it works within one story. And
Quite
if
ambitious
something
to want to
is
connect everything
outside
all
of
together,
that,
but I kind of like it.
Matt Reeves' Batman or Todd Phillips' Joker or Teen Titans Go, that it is clearly labeled as DC Elseworlds, outside of the mainstream DCU continuity. Now, Peter and I have gotten pretty lucky in terms of the 4 projects that are coming out over the next year.
I also like the
First, we have
Elseworlds.
Shazam, Fury of the Gods. Shazam has always been off kind of in his own part of the DCU, so he connects very well. That moves directly into The Flash, a fantastic movie that I really love that resets the entire DC universe. Then to move into Blue Beetle, a fantastic film about a kid who's a marvelous part of the DCU, and then into Aquaman 2, which leads directly into our next few projects, which I'm going to tell you about now. So, Peter and I, along with a group of very talented writers, have started to map out an 8 to 10 year plan of what DC Studios will be in film, television, and gaming. This first chapter is called Gods and Monsters. Now, this
Gods
what I'm
and
about to tell you
Monsters,
is a part of
chapter
the first
1.
chapter. It's not the entire first chapter. The
Yep.
first project is Creature Commandos.
So Creature Commandos is the first thing.
Commandos is an animated series. I've written all the episodes. Something we're going to do that's a little bit different at DC is we're going to have characters move into animation, out of animation, usually having the same actor play their voice as who plays them in live action. The next project up is Waller. This is a story of Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis. Viola Davis is going to team up with members of Team Peacemaker, and this is a story that's been created by Crystal Henry, who did Watchmen, and Jeremy Carver, who created the Doom Patrol. It is a fantastic story that's out of this world, and I can't wait for people to see it. Okay, next up is the big one, the true beginning of the DCU. This is called Superman Legacy. This is being written by me. I'm in the middle of it. I'm having a great time doing it, and Superman will be released into theaters July 11th, 2025. Okay, the next thing is a big premiere HBO television series called Lanterns. This is a story of a couple of Green Lanterns, John Stewart and Hal Jordan. And
This one I'm pretty excited about.
But this is really a
I think
terrestrial-based
has some pretty good
TV
potential.
show, which is almost like True Detective with a couple of Green Lanterns who are space cops watching over Precinct Earth. In it, they discover a terrifying mystery that ties into our larger story of the DCU. Next is a big movie called The Authority. The Authority is
This is
a
definitely one of the
passion
weirder
project of
things they're
mine.
doing.
It's based on the
Yeah.
marvelous Wildstorm characters. We are now bringing into the DCU.
But that
and
seems
will
Gunn, man. He
interact
loves his
with
weird
all
shit.
of our primary DCU characters. The Authority are a group of superheroes who think the world is broken and they want to fix it by any means necessary. I think it's a very different look at superheroes. We're doing a television series called Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost is the story of Paradise Island, usually known as Themyscira, which is the birthplace of Wonder Woman. It's almost like Game of Thrones with Westeros, but with all of the inhabitants of Paradise Island. The introduction of the DCU's Batman is The Brave and the Bold. The Brave and the Bold is the story of Batman and his actual son, Damian Wayne. This is based on Grant Morrison's great comic book run. Damian Wayne is my favorite Robin. He's a little assassin who Batman tries to get in line, and so this is the story.
When he's like, he's a little assassin, I thought he was gonna call him like he's a little shit. Like,
next up
he's
is
a little
TV
bastard.
series called Booster Gold.
Booster
Gold is one
Gold.
of comics' really popular cult heroes. He is a
I know,
fascinating
Josh,
guy.
you're
He's a
hyped about that
loser
one.
from the future
I am.
who uses future
My arms are raised right
technology
now.
to come back to present day and become a superhero so that people will love him. It is basically the superhero story of imposter syndrome on an HBO Max series. One of my favorite comic book series from last year was Tom King's run on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And so we're going to turn
This
that
one I'm
into
very
a big
curious about.
science fiction epic film.
'Cause I haven't read this run,
Superman is a guy
but
who was sent to Earth
sounds
and
interesting.
raised by loving parents. Whereas Supergirl in this story, she is a character who was raised on a chunk of Krypton. She watched everybody around her perish in some terrible way. So she's a much more jaded character. And that brings me to Swamp Thing, the last
Swamp
thing we're
Thing,
gonna talk about. A
yeah.
very dark horror story in the origins of the monster who is Swamp Thing. And although it's totally outside of the rest of the DCU, it will still feed into the rest of the stories. Anyway, those are the stories that I can tell you about right now. I've loved the DC characters since I was a child. They're incredibly important to me. I knew that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to do something very different. One of the things that's very important for me in all of these movies and TV series is that the director's vision and the vision of the writers and all of the creators is unique and something special. Storytelling is always king. That's all that matters to us. And I want to be true to those stories. I want to be true to you guys and really give you something different than you've ever seen before. Anyway, thank you, everybody. I appreciate
there it
you
is.
watching.
That's
I hope this was
part-
exciting for you because it's really
Again,
exciting for me.
part
And I can't wait to
of Chapter 1, Gods of Monsters. That's not the whole plan for Chapter 1, but that's part of it. So out of all of that, Josh, that he talked about, forget about like the stuff we know is coming, like, you know, Shazam
Yeah.
and Blue Beetle and all that stuff that was before this. Of all the newly announced stuff, what is the thing or the things that have you most hopeful for? And how do you feel in general about this whole, video and everything he talked about and his vision and all that?
All right. So first things that I'm looking forward to: Booster Gold, Lanterns, because I'm going to get Jon Stewart, who's like one of my absolute favorite Lanterns. At long last, get Jon Stewart. So those are like the two biggest things I'm excited for. Swamp Thing. I don't know if you ever watched like the old sci-fi like Swamp Thing, like back in the 90s thing, like movie thing, miniseries thing. I think it's a movie thing. You know how the sci-fi would do like these one-off movies kind of? And there were some Swamp Thing ones. I just remember watching those with my grandma. So it's cool to see Swamp Thing back. I don't like really Damian Wayne Robin. So I'm a little not disappointed. I understand why they're wanting to do a different direction, but it's like, man, that one's not really probably gonna appeal to me. I mean, I'll just kind of have to wait and see, I guess. But he's not like my favorite. He's kind of like a little shit, which I guess is the point. But I don't, not really the biggest fan of that character. You know, a lot of it is like wait and see. I have to wait and see who they cast in roles. Wait and see who they have writing things and like trailers and teasers and stuff. It's hard to get a good gauge just from talking.
That's the other thing. While he was talking about Creature Commandos, which is an animated show, he said we're gonna be casting people that are not only gonna voice the character, but are gonna be playing the characters in live action and other things because they're gonna try to connect everything all together. So the video games, the animated shows, the live action shows, the movies are all gonna be interconnected and interwoven. So you're gonna have to be really careful on who you cast because this is gonna be your person for forever,
Mhm.
basically. You know, so yeah, it is gonna be very very curious to see who they cast. Yeah,
And the other thing is
yeah,
like, I feel like that's a thing that's going to be really hard too, because I can understand it with between like television and movies. I understand that, but doing it with video games and television and movies, that sounds like a fucking nightmare. Like that is so much logistical stuff to have to figure out, and like that just seems insane to me. But we'll have to wait and see.
they seem up for the challenge though.
Yeah, that just seems like
It's ambitious for sure.
I know there were some game devs that were talking about it and were like, that sounds like a nightmare. But they haven't had meetings with James Gunn about how they're going to handle that stuff either. So,
Right.
I'm really kind of curious to where it's going to go. I do like getting like heroes or villains that I haven't seen before, like the Creature Commandos, like the
Authority.
The Authority, and because like, listen, there was a time where a lot of us didn't know who the Guardians of the Galaxy were, but we know who they are now. So like, I remember before that first movie came out, and so people were like, a Guardians movie, who's gonna want to see that? Who's gonna know those characters? And then the movie came out, and like, they're some of the most popular characters, I feel. So,
not only that, but this was literally the guy that did it too.
Exactly.
So, and he's doing it again. He did it with Marvel, and now he's doing it with DC.
So when people are like, I don't get why he's doing that, I'm not gonna doubt him for it because he did it with Guardians. Like if anybody could do it, it's James Gunn. I feel like. So we'll just have to wait and see, I guess, and see some of that stuff. It is obviously a challenge, but they seem to know what they want to do with it going forward. So those are kind of my thoughts on it. A lot of it is like wait and see for me, which I think it is for a lot of people.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, because a lot of it's just like we know things are happening now, but we don't know other than like Waller, who obviously like Viola Davis is reprising Amanda Waller. Like, yeah, there's a lot of little like small details that they still need to get like figured out and all that, and again, this is only part of chapter 1. Like, it's not even all of chapter 1 yet. So, yeah, it's interesting because there's a mix of a lot of different things in here, right? Like, you got your Superman, you got your Batman, you got your Swamp Thing, you got your Authority and Creature Commandos, some of your weirder stuff, So, and then you got your Lanterns, which is so for me, Lanterns, Superman, Supergirl, and I think Brave and the Bold are probably what has me more excited. And then I'm like really curious about Booster Gold, how they're gonna do that. But that's some of the stuff that has me more excited. Um, the Paradise Lost one's gonna be interesting because they say it's gonna be like Game of Thrones, but in Themyscira instead of Westeros.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, that'll be. I mean, that one, I don't know, man. It could be good or it could be bad depending on how they do it. We'll see. But but yeah, what I think is interesting about that one though is that it's like we don't know anything about Wonder Woman. Like, you would think that she's maybe show up there, but this is probably gonna be like before her time, maybe, or
no, it's weird.
I don't know. It's gonna be something. And yeah, in terms of the Brave of the Bold, I kind of when this was first announced, I kind of was also with you, and I know Jake feels the same way about Damian Wayne. He probably wouldn't be the one I choose either, but it's kind of this idea of having him be the Robin we start off with has kind of grown on me because because of the potential of the other Robins.
Exactly. Nightwing could show up, maybe, possibly.
Nightwing, Red Hood, like all these other guys are pretty much going to be out there already, right? So
exactly.
The thing that excites me is we don't have to wait for them. We don't have to go through each Robin and do that, right?
Yeah,
we already have them. We already have them. So that's what has me like, because I was with you guys, but then like that has me kind of like, oh, well, we don't have to we skip all that and just go straight to having everybody all in a part of the universe already, right?
That
So
does
that's
get me
what has me
excited.
kind of like just looking at the bright side of this, right? Because yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so for me that's kind of what has like improved my you know or gotten me more hopeful for Brave and the Bold. Because yeah, I'm much like you guys. I wasn't really about like Damien being the one we have, but like when I thought about it a little bit more, I'm like, hey, we could have Red Hood and Nightwing, and because he did talk about like the Bat family in this video.
Right.
Like like if we're gonna get more of the Bat family, that's gonna be dope. Like you get like Barbara, depending on whether she's Oracle or Batgirl. Like that'd be cool. And you could bring in Batwing, and oh man, there's so many different characters in the Bat family. But anyway, so yeah, that's kind of what has me excited. And obviously Swamp Thing I think is gonna be dope. Which, speaking of Swamp Thing, we have some news for that. And the Hollywood Reporter is reporting that James Mangold is in talks to tackle the Swamp Thing movie for James Gunn and Peter Safran's DC Studios. So you guys may know James Mangold, director of the upcoming Indiana Jones and Dial of Destiny. He also did Logan, and he's been named and mentioned for a lot of other things. Uh, so he's pretty good. He's pretty good. So yeah. So they're talking with him about maybe taking the helm of Swamp Thing, which I think James Mangold Swamp Thing could be pretty great.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm all about this. So hopefully they get that done. This was as of February 1st, so I don't know if there's been any. I don't think there's been any other news other than that. But hopefully the talks continue to go well, and I would like to see that movie happen with him in charge of it. So that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Moving on, we have the Gladiator. The Gladiator sequel has a release date. 2024 is the year. So Ridley Scott is back to direct the follow-up to his 2000 Sword and Sandals epic. So 24 years later, the sequel will come out. It is a follow-up to the Oscar-winning Best Picture film, which followed Maximus Decimus Meridius, played by Russell Crowe. According to previous reports, the story sequel will center on Lucius, the son of Lucilla, played by Connie Nielsen, and nephew of Joaquin Phoenix's Commodus. The project is currently untitled. Paul Mescal, who recently earned an Oscar nomination for his role in the A24 feature After Sun, is in negotiations to star. So that's intriguing, I suppose. Also, so this movie has a release date of 2024, which will apparently be in, I guess, November, which is also the same time that Marvel is supposed to be releasing Fantastic Four, which is slated for November 8th. That's at least two intriguing movies coming out that year in that same month. So
Sure.
cool. Yeah, so I really like the first one, and I hope they can kind of do the sequel, or they can do the original one justice here with the sequel. I don't know how they're gonna do that, but we'll see. But if they've taken this long to make it, then hopefully it's a situation like Top Gun Maverick, where it's like you do the first one, and then you take forever to do the second one, but the second one is solid, like it's good.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully it's something like that. But we'll see. Uh, it was announced in a earnings call last Wednesday that Bob Iger said Toy Story, Frozen, and Zootopia sequels are all in the works. So Toy Story 5, Frozen 3, and Zootopia 2 are all gonna be a thing. He said on an earnings call on Wednesday that where he told investors that these future films were an example of how we are leaning into our unrivaled brands. He stressed again the importance of curating the company's marquee brands and franchises. So yeah, we're getting a lot more of these things that people love. People love the Toy Story movies, and I know a lot of people are like, well, you could have just ended after 3. But to be honest, I didn't mind the 4th one. I thought it was pretty decent. So I'm curious to what they're gonna do with the 5th one, because I thought that maybe 5 would have been or 4 would have been a good ending to it. But now they're making another one, so I don't I don't know what they're
Yeah.
planning on doing. But and I haven't seen Frozen 2, so I don't know what they're doing with 3. And then Zootopia, I'll be honest, I wasn't the biggest fan of. But they're doing another one, so hey, these movies make money and they do well, so of course they're gonna keep making them. Makes sense to me.
Sure.
And then finally to end our news here, we have some trailers that dropped yesterday at the Super Bowl. So we got one for The Flash, one for Guardians, an Indiana Jones TV spot, and then the Super Mario Bros. Movie got a little plumbing commercial thing. So let's check these out. I reacted to a few of these. The Flash I reacted to, Guardians I reacted to, and Indiana Jones I reacted to. If you want to go check out my initial thoughts on these, go check them out on my YouTube channel. Which if you're watching this video on YouTube right now, then you're probably have already seen it or you see it there. So anyway, let's check this out. 3, 2, 1, go.
Tell me something. You can go anywhere. Another timeline. Another universe. So why do you want to stay and fight to save this one?
Because this is the world where my mom lives. I'm not gonna lose her again. Time has a pattern that it can't help reliving. Different people, different worlds, drawn to each other like magnets. It's my face. You stole my face.
If you were to go into the past, you have no idea what the consequences can be.
Bruce, I could fix things.
You could also destroy.
Batfleck.
This can't be happening.
I've journeyed across an ocean of stars to find you.
Zod.
General Zod, baby.
I created a world with no metahumans. And now there's no one to defend us.
Want some help?
There he is.
Oh. You are?
Yeah. I'm Batman.
Damn right he is.
If I can't undo what I did, if I can't get back, there might not be a future. What's the play? Batman, what do we do?
We try not to die.
It's not Clark.
My name is Kara.
I'm Barry. We're Barry.
Barry, what are you doing? Our kids are gonna want to see this.
So that is the official trailer for The Flash. Josh, thoughts?
It's conflicted thoughts, right? Because of Ezra
Yeah.
Miller. It's like I want to be excited for it. I want to be excited for Keaton back as Batman. I want to be excited for Supergirl. But the whole Ezra Miller thing and how some of this transition stuff happened is feels kind of gross, right? So I don't know. It's hard to be cut and dry one way or the other. For me personally, I know it's not hard for other people out there, but for me personally, it's like Keaton was always my Batman. I understand if that is your Batman too, and you still don't want to deal with this because of Ezra Miller's whole deal and how some of this transition stuff happened. I want to enjoy it. I don't know. It's one of those things where I might not know until this movie comes out on if I can stay strong or not. I'm also curious to how much Keaton's actually in this movie as Batman and stuff like
He
that
looks
too.
like he's gonna be a pretty big part, at least bigger than Batfleck by this trailer, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm really kind of curious. I just don't know. I want to be excited. I want to be, but I'm trying not to get caught up in my own hype for it.
The hype,
you know,
yeah. I mean, I think this trailer looks fucking awesome, dude. I think this movie looks so good.
Mhm.
It is such a damn shame that Ezra Miller has to be so problematic because this movie looks so fucking good, man.
Mhm.
Oh, it looks so good, dude. But yeah, I don't know. I do want to watch it, but I don't know. I hope I said this in my reaction, but I hope Ezra Miller. I hope they get the help that they need because
Yeah.
they've been fucking up with a lot of stuff, and yeah, I don't. Depending on how this movie goes, it could be the last time we see them, or I mean, I don't know if they. I don't think they've decided yet if they want to bring him back or not, but yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see, like you said. But as far as the movie itself goes, I think it looks great. It's so cool seeing and hearing Michael Keaton back. Fucking General Zod, which I love, is cool seeing him back. Batfleck, seeing him back is cool. Yeah, Supergirl looks really, really awesome too. Um, yeah, it looks and sounds like a really good movie, but yeah, there's that thing, you know. There's
Mhm.
that little thing that kind of, you know, is always going to be talked about when you talk about this movie. But yeah, we'll have to see, but it definitely from what I saw in that trailer, it definitely got me pretty hype. Um, but yeah, Michael Keaton definitely looks like he's gonna be a big part of it because also, if I'm not mistaken, he was supposed to be a part of the Batgirl movie that we now know, or that we've known now, that has been canceled. But he was supposed to be kind of involved in a few different projects, but now obviously who knows because they got a whole new plan. But
That's the thing. You might not never see Keaton as Batman again.
yeah, this might be the last time we see him. But hey, man, if we get one more time of both Batfleck and Keaton, that's fine with me, brother. We get, you know, they they're both awesome, and it's gonna be fun. It'll be good to see him again.
Yeah.
But yeah, that looks pretty good to me. It's just a shame that, you know, Ezra Miller is, you know, has done all the crazy shit that they've done. But yeah, in terms of the movie itself, I think it looks fantastic.
Yeah. Okay. What's the next trailer, DT?
Next one is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which you know what? We should throw up the poster first.
Yeah, let's do
Because
that.
they did release a poster for that. So there's the poster. And then we have the trailer as well,
Here's the poster for you guys.
which looks pretty good.
All right.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Very colorful. Got the whole gang on there. Once more with feeling. All right, let's check out the trailer.
Let's do it.
2 minutes, 21 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm Star-Lord. I formed the Guardians. Met a girl, fell in love. That girl died, but then she came back. Came back a total dick.
Oh, please. I left out some important information, but that is the gist of it.
My sacred mission is to create the perfect society.
He didn't want to make things perfect. He just hated things the way they are.
I want you all to know that I'm grateful to fight beside my friends.
Incinerate them.
We were always searching for a family until we found each other.
Are you ready for one last ride?
We'll all fly away together.
Into the forever and beautiful sky.
Whoever it was that you were in love with, it sounds more like her.
Her? That's
Do not bring me into this.
Knock it off!
Never noticed how black your eyes were.
They were replaced by my father as a method of torture.
He picked a pretty set.
So what do you think of that one, Josh?
I think I need to take my tissues with me to the fucking movie theater because that's good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be crying.
One of the things about this one that I think they've done a pretty well, particularly with this trailer, is that they've done a pretty good job with. I feel like is they like obviously some people are gonna die, right?
Yeah.
But they show you at throughout several points of this trailer, like several of the different members all injured or messed up.
Yeah.
Like there's at one point they're carrying Peter and he's all messed up. Fucking Drax got like a hole in his chest and he's like all beat up and walking all slow too. Rocket looks like he's in trouble and danger at one point. Like all of them are kind of like in danger at one point. So it's like you don't know who's gonna die or who's gonna stay and all that. And
yeah,
they've kind of done a good job with being like, oh, I don't know, man. They could all be in danger.
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic trailer. I think they did a good job editing that one together to leave enough room in there.
Really well done. And then fucking Peter and Nebula. And yes, Karen Gillan is definitely.
I am totally fine with that coupling, by the way. I'm like, hell yeah, why not, dude?
I was watching some people be like, no, can't happen.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah, do it. Why not? I'm all for it. Oh, fucking shit. Okay, DT, what's next? If we don't have anything else on that.
No, that's all we got for that. I thought it looks great. I'm excited to watch it. Dude, I need to watch this one in the theater because I didn't watch any of the previous. I didn't watch Volume 1 or Volume 2 in theaters.
You know what? Same, actually.
So I want to watch this one in theaters.
I do too. Go have us. I'm gonna have me I'll have me a private cry on the back row.
which, by the way, speaking of Marvel, fucking Ant-Man comes out this week, dude.
That's right.
Comes out this week. Oh man. All right. So, ready for Indiana Jones?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I don't know if you guys can tell. I'm in a shitload of pain right now. I keep looking away and grabbing my jaw. I'm sorry. The meds will kick in soon, I hope. Let's do this.
All right, let's do it. 3, 2, 1, go.
Have we met?
My memory's a little fuzzy. Are you still a Nazi?
A legend will face his destiny.
What are you doing here? Let's go! Hang on!
June 30th. Quick
Exciting.
little TV spot there. Still looks good. The CG kind of is a little iffy there, I think, but they're still working on it, so there's still time. I'm not concerned about it.
There's one shot where he looks real good on the train. I think that CG looks good. But like this shot right here, I think this looks pretty decent. In the back, or sorry, in the front there. I think that's a good shot. Some of the rest of it does look iffy though.
I noticed they also de-aged Mads Mikkelsen in that same scene. If you look at him, he looks de-aged too in that one.
Yeah, let me see if I can bump up a frame here. I can't get it. I can't get it to stop. Yeah, they definitely did. I see it now.
Yeah. So I was like, huh, interesting. But yeah.
This is the year of last rides, apparently, because they're getting a couple of them.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we have one last thing here, Josh, before we're done with our news for the day.
Gotcha.
And that is the little quick. This is also very quick. The Super Mario Brothers plumbing website and commercial.
Gotcha.
Little advertisement thing. There's also a little poster there with Toad, which is new, I think.
Whoops. Sorry, guys. I hit one of my sound bites.
Oh.
I hit Tony Montana.
Hey, it's Tony Montana, man.
Say hello to my little friend. That was an accident.
Say hello to my little friend. Well, hey, we are about to watch some Little Friends, man. The Super Mario Brothers movie. Here we go. Let's check it out. Ready?
Yeah.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
We're the Mario Brothers, and plumbing's a game. We're not like the others who get all the fame. When your sink is in trouble, you could call us on the double. We're faster than the others, you'll be hooked on the brothers.
Brooklyn to Queens.
Thank you, Super Mario Bros. It seems like the only thing you haven't drained is my bank account. For super service, call or text
SMBplumbing.com.
Super Mario Bros. Plumbing today at 92955-MARIO. Or reach us on the World Wide Web at SMBplumbing.com.
Super Mario. So that's pretty cool. Using an old school, the Mario rap or whatever.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Awesome. I'm gonna try to show you guys that poster because I didn't get a glance at it. There it is.
There it is. It's Toad. There you go. So Tony Montana wasn't lying to you. He said, "Say hello to my little friend." Your little friend is Toad. There he is. There's the poster. And that is our movie news and our news in general for the past couple weeks and today's show. We are gonna take a quick break before we come back and talk about the main topic. So Josh, take it away, my friend.
We'll be right back after this, guys. I'll run some ads on YouTube. This will be instantly for you. We'll be right back after this. Don't go anywhere.
Be right back.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Clockwork Cantina. We're gonna move into the second half of our show here. I hope you had a good break. Which our main topic, DT? What is our main topic?
So tomorrow is Valentine's Day. So regardless of whether or not you care about it or anything like that, we thought it would, it would be fun to list off some of our favorite gaming romances. So last year we did our favorite movie romances, I believe. So this year we decided that it would be cool to do the gaming version of that. That's what I'm gonna be doing today. We usually have like about a list of like 10 of them, right?
Yep.
And then maybe if you got like an honorable mention or not, but that's going to be what we're doing here today. So yeah, favorite gaming romances. So before we even get into any of that, I have to say, as always, a disclaimer when we do these types of lists and stuff is the fact that I nor Josh have played every single game in existence. So there's gonna be games or couples or romances, whatever, that we miss because we just haven't played the games. And here's the other thing. Josh's is gonna be different from mine because he's played games that I haven't played, and I play games. And mine's gonna be different than his because I play games that he hasn't played. So it's these are our personal lists. So just keep that in mind. We're not saying the best of all time. We're just saying our favorites of all time. So this is our personal list. So keep that in mind before, any comments or anything like that. Just thought I'd throw that out there before we get into it. But yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about. How do we want to go about this? Do we want to just do like I do? We both do 10 and then 9, or I mean, we're gonna start with we'll start with honorable mentions first, but
yeah, we can swap back and forth each one. We'll do it that way.
Yeah, so back and forth how we usually do. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. We'll do that. So
okay.
I guess if you want, we can. You want to go first with your honorable mentions, then?
Okay.
Or you got anything else you want to add into that?
Just that I just wanted to say that mine aren't in any particular order. They're just kind of in the order I thought. I know we usually say that with our list anyway, but if you're watching, these aren't in any particular order. They're just like the order I kind of thought of them in. So I have 2 honorable mentions. So DT, I'm just going to do both my honorable mentions and then we'll throw.
Yeah, go for it.
Honorable mentions. The first honorable mention I have is from Max Payne 2, The Fall of Max Payne. I have the character of Mona Sachs in the romance with Max. For those of you that have played Max Payne, you realize that story is very dark, very ugly, very just a very dark noir type story. And Max and his wife, that's kind of like the main driving thing of the first game, what happens in that first game. In the second game, the character of Mona Sachs and Max develop this kind of romance, and there's just there's something that happens in that game, and it always sticks in my mind. Even when I think about it now, it's like something's happened to Max. He gets shot or something, I think, in the game, and it's the first time in the game that you switch over and you play as Mona, and Max narrates. He gets shot, and they set this building on fire, and he's in there and hurt and like knocked out, I think. And he narrates the game because it's noir, and he's always like, "She came through the fire to get me," and that always sticks in my mind. I always think of that line, like. But when I say it doesn't sound as cool as it is in the game because it's Max Payne, it's his voice, the music, and everything. It's like she came through the fire to get me, and I always thought, "Fuck, she loves him." So I always throw that in my that's in my honorable mentions. It was almost in just like the list.
Made the list.
Yeah. Cool. And my other honorable mention is Anya and BJ Blazkowicz from Wolfenstein.
Hey, nice. Yeah.
In a world full of Nazis, they find love with one another, and I actually really like that romance, and it leads to children, and it's awesome. So those are my honorable mentions right there. DT, what are your honorable mentions?
That's cool. So I have only one honorable mention because I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This list was kind of difficult for me to do.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of struggling with like who to include on it and what to do because I'm trying to remember like all the games I played and like some of the romances and characters that are in that were a couple or were a thing. And it's tough, man. This is definitely like out of all these lists that we've done on the podcast or for the podcast, this is one of the tougher ones to do for me at least.
That's fair.
So I was kind of like, for a little bit there, I was like, man, who do I throw in here? But I have only one honorable mention. And because because most of my couples or most of the couples on my list here are straight. I have one honorable mention here that is not that is
Mm-hmm.
for the LGBTs, and it is Ellie Williams and Riley Abel from The Last of Us. They don't go too much into this relationship in the game, and they haven't really gone into it into the show for them for a whole lot, really. But I think they will go into the show. But
Yeah.
There's a DLC that came out for the first game called The Last of Us. I believe it was called Left Behind, and it was a DLC that came out. I want to say, like, I don't know, like a year after the game came out, or a few months after the game came out, something like that. And it was like, yeah, pretty much a DLC to the game, and it focused on Ellie and her friend slash love interest uh Riley. And it's just interesting, like, seeing these two like teenage girls, like, kind of, in the midst of this post-apocalyptic world, kind of just, you know spend time with each other, and you know uh like, just, I don't know, the thing I'm trying to convey is, like, in the midst of this post-apocalyptic thing, you have these two teenage girls that are, like, in a mall, just, like, hanging out with each other, and spending time with each other, um as if there wasn't one going on, and they're just, like, obviously the setting and everything is all jacked up because it's old, broken down, beat up mall, and anyway, it was a pretty big moment when they, like, share their kiss and stuff, and in the DLC, because I mean, this was 2014, so it wasn't like, you know I feel like things were not as, like, open with that kind of stuff as they are now. Like, nowadays, it's like, all right, who gives a shit, stuff like this happens all the time. But I feel like 10 years ago, it was kind of, I mean, it wasn't like unheard of or unknown of, but it was still, like, not as out there as it is now. But yeah, that's my honorable mention. I figured I'd throw at least one like that, one LGBT one in here, because yeah, a lot
Gotcha.
of a lot of my list is just mainly, like, straight people.
So is mine, to be fair.
Yeah. But anyway, those are honorable mentions. Josh, what's your number 10?
My number 10 is from Fire Emblem. It is from Fire Emblem Awakening. Which was, like, the very first Fire Emblem I played. It was the one that was on the 3DS. And it is Cordelia. So this is, like, the game where you can romance a lot of people in this game. There's a lot of characters that can romance, and they can romance each other as well. So
all right,
as they kind of bond and grow to each other, they grow social bonds. But specifically, her relationship with the main character, as their bond kind of grows over the game, if you choose to pursue that, is heartfelt and warming. Cordelia is a Pegasus knight that is, like, so she rides a Pegasus horse and fights with, like, a pole arm. That suffers from PTSD. She was in this, like, specially trained squad in the game of Pegasus Knights, and they end up being killed very brutally, and she gets saved by one of the other characters, I believe, and she kind of develops a crush on him. But that eventually changes when she meets the main character, if you choose to follow that main character plot line. And her whole romance deals with her or not just her romance, her social bonding. I shouldn't say romance. It doesn't really. Fire Emblem romances don't become romances until like the very bottom tier of the social link, I should say. And it's like it has a moment where she suffers from PTSD, and she kind of has this unrequited feelings for this other character, and then she kind of meets the main character, and they kind of grow and bond together over time. And it involves her dealing with those past feelings as well, and it's just a romance I really enjoy. She suffers from a lot of guilt as being like the survivor of that ambush, and she ends up like breaking down into the main character's arms at one point over it, and it's very heartfelt romance. It's one of my favorite romances of the Fire Emblem games. So that is my number 10.
Cool.
Chrom is a main character. The character you play is Robin, Machin. And that's the one I'm talking about
10.
the romance with. Yes, you're number 10, sir. What do you have?
My number 10 is one of your honorable mentions. I figured I'd just throw them in here because my list is kind of like yours, is just like not really numbered. So I figured I'd just throw them in here. BJ Blazkowicz and Anya Oliwa from the Wolfenstein series. In a world of Nazis, we got these two lovers in this fucked up world. And even after homie, spoiler alert for the second game, even after it looks like homie dies, still she is there for him and trying to retrieve his decapitated head to bring him back. so that how could you not love that, man? Come on, she was there for him through it all, man. So yeah, I gotta have him in here, man.
I got you. That's fair. All right.
9.
My number 9 is Leia from Stardew Valley, who's the person I romance. Every time we play Stardew, I always romance her. Why? Because it's easy. Because she loves salads, and you can. Nah, I'm kidding. Like, she really is one of the easier romance to get, though, because she likes the salad, and you get the salad at the bar. But I love Stardew, and we played co-op Stardew, like all of it. Dude, we had so much fun playing that game and joking and doing our romances, and like Leia is the one that I do it every time I play Stardew. She's the one I end up romancing every time. I have that habit of a small sidebar since we're talking about romancing games. If I ever find that romance I enjoy that first go around, I will almost never romance anybody else because it feels like I'm doing something wrong. So she's, I just think she's sweet. She's an artist that comes to town, or she lives in the town, and she ends up having to deal with like her ex and stuff, and you encourage her with her art, and I just think it's a very sweet and lovely romance.
Gotcha.
That I enjoy, and I do it every time. How about you, DT? What's your number? 9?
I'm trying to remember the name of the girl that I romanced in fucking Stardew. Was her name? I think it was Emily. I don't remember though. I haven't played that game in a while. But I think. Anyway.
Yeah.
My number 9.
There's a lot of options in that game.
My number 9 is from Days Gone. It's Deacon St. John and Sarah Whitaker. So this entire game starts with them, and it ends with them reuniting because they get separated at a certain point, and Deacon basically is his journey to find her again. And they and honestly, like when they do reunite, it doesn't go the way you think it goes too. Like it's interesting. But I don't want to. I'm trying not to spoil it because
I got you.
Maybe there's people out there who haven't played it, and I know Josh, you haven't played it, right?
I have it installed, but I haven't played it yet. It's in my Steam installed right now, waiting to be
anyway,
played.
what I'm trying to say is like we start with them at the beginning, and then like throughout the course of the entire game, Deacon is relentless in his pursuit and finding her again. So, yeah, and it's Sam Witwer, man. Like he's great, but
I got you.
yeah, it's if you've played the game, you know what I mean, and it's cool. It's cool seeing those two together and how committed and devoted he is to finding her again, and what he goes through to do all that. So yeah, they got to be my number 9 here for this list.
I got you. All right. My number 8 is from Jade Empire, and it's kind of a little bit of a cheat, but I don't think it is. I mean, it kind of is. So from Jade Empire, the character of Dawn Star is a romance option. For you, she's like a character that kind of grows up with you and kind of has this very dark, little bit of backstory. And if you played the game, I'm not gonna talk a lot about it because I don't want to spoil it in case anybody ever plays Jade Empire, which is one of my favorite games of all time from BioWare. Really do enjoy it. But I have another romance option that is also Jade Empire, and the reason I'm putting it in here, the character of Silk Fox, who is, I believe she is the Emperor's daughter in disguise, which isn't like, that's pretty much immediately told to you. This is the only game on my list where these three, you, the main character, can have romances with both of those characters, and it's like a polyamory relationship where they all kind of like, it is the three of them in a relationship together. It's the only game on my list that does that. And I found that out by accident, by accidentally doing romances in Jade Empire. I think because I've played the game so many times, I've done some of the romances multiple times. And I always thought that was fascinating that that's an option they go with here. Is like, you can either be with Dawnstar, you can either be with Silk Fox, or you can be with both of them if certain conditions are met and something happens that kind of draws them closer together and draws you, the main character, all three together. So I always found that fascinating in that game, that they had a romance like that, because there's not a lot of romances that kind of deal with that. There's a lot of circumstances surrounding why it happens, which I'm not going to go into or spoil here, but it's not as odd as you might think in the context of the video game. What is your number 8, DT?
My number 8 is going to be one of the couples that gets a happy ending, and it's going to be Nathan Drake and Elena Fisher from Uncharted. So this is one of the couples that actually gets a happy ending at the end of their story. Throughout the 4 Uncharted games, in the end, they stay together. They have a daughter together. There's actually a really sweet scene with them in, I believe it's the 4th game, where they're just like living the ideal couple dream, where they're just hanging out on a couch playing like Crash Bandicoot on the PS1 or whatever, and it's like it's you guys know the scene I'm talking about. It's nice. It's cool. So it's nice seeing them, like, start off at a certain point where it's like, oh man, I don't know, these guys really gonna, stay together and all that, and then they just end up like being the ideal like couple and staying together, and they have a daughter together and all that. It's nice, man. It's nice to see that, So they win, they end up together, and it's nice to see them go on their journey throughout the game. So yeah. They're my number 8.
Cool. My number 7 is Valerie from Pathfinder Kingmaker. There are multiple romance options during the course of this game, I believe. Valerie is the romance I went with. She is said to be a supernatural beauty in devotion to, blessed by like her god. She's a paladin. And it's just, I just enjoyed like getting to know that character. I'm not going to talk super into it because it's a spoiler for, like, in my opinion, one of the greatest RPGs ever on the PC, and everybody should play Pathfinder Kingmaker if you can play those types of games, of course. But it's she's somebody that kind of starts to hate how she looks just because of all the attention she gets from it. And it's just fascinating watching that character and her relationship kind of grow with you. She's kind of like a natural leader. So it that's kind of my number 7, Valerie from Pathfinder Kingmaker.
Okay.
How about you, DT?
My number 7 is, so this is the only game where I guess the only series where I have 2 couples of. This is the first of the 2. So
Thank God I'm not the only one that's done that.
I was really trying to refrain from doing that.
I tried to not do it too, but I did it a couple times.
I tried not to do it, but it, again, like I said, this is a hard list to make, man. I was really trying to think about who to include on here. But
it's your list, you do what you want.
But I have my number 7, John Marston and Abigail Roberts from Red Dead Redemption. They have their trials and tribulations. John even questions if Jack is his son at one point. And the Vanderlyn gang kind of makes a joke about having ran through Abigail, I think, at one point. But these two, through the thick of it all, remained together, stayed together until the end. And it's quite admirable through all the shit that they have been that they've gone through, that they were able to stay with each other. And it's going to parallel something that I have to say a little bit later, but I just think that these two, they're not like the most perfect or ideal or whatever, but they stood the test of their time and were together until the end. And I think that is admirable given their circumstances and everything they had to endure and deal with. They're my number 7 pick, which again, I say number 7, but we just have 10 options and we're throwing them in there. They don't.
Yeah.
They could have been higher. They could have, whatever. They're here. They're on my list. So yeah.
I got you, my man. I got
Who's
you.
your next one?
My number 6 is I put Geralt and Yennefer from The Witcher 3.
Yes.
So I played all the Witcher games, and for the most part, look, Geralt fucks, okay? Through all those games, multiple people, other people.
There's quite a few options that you can have in these games as you play through. And I played all 3 of them. So yes, he has options. He does.
And I was tempted to put Triss here, just because she's kind of prominent in those first couple games.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I thought you were gonna go with Triss. Like if you were to have them on here, I thought you would go Triss instead of Yen.
It was. I really thought about it with myself on that one. To be honest with you, I really did. But I think the thing of it is that third game and how prominent Yennefer is, and Geralt, and kind of like his pursuit of her, and then like some of the storylines that get kind of wrapped up there, their choices with each other, and in that it really feels like Yennefer kind of is the true love of Geralt. It's kind of how I feel, especially in that third game. So that's why it's my number 6.
Yeah, it makes total sense. I had them as my number 5, but I'll throw them in next. Yeah, they were also they're also in my list. So Geralt and Yennefer, I'll throw them in here also at number 6. Why not? I just, you could have gone with Triss in here as well, because that's another option that people, some people tend to go with Triss over Yennefer. From the moment I saw Yennefer though, I was like, yes, Yennefer is the one. But yeah, no, like you said, she's such a big prominent part of the third game. And like in the first two games, you have Shawnee and Triss, and you know, there's maybe a couple other, you know, women that are a part of that, but like I feel like at the end of the day, the third game is so like such a big piece of the whole like trilogy that it kind of overtakes some of the other stuff. Like I'll be honest with you, I think 3 is like the one I remember the most, and like I probably remember 1 more than 2. 2 I beat like so quickly, like it didn't even I it didn't even I don't remember a whole lot about the second game. But yeah, dude, Yennefer is the one that as soon as I saw Geralt, I was like, yes. I mean, shit, have you seen fucking you seen her? I was like, yes, sir. She's gonna be the one. Dude, video game Yennefer is goodness gracious, bro. Anyway, uh I yeah, Geralt and Yennefer are I think they complement each other so well, especially in that game, and she's a big part of it, and yeah, it just it makes total sense to for her to be the one. But yeah, I've seen like I said, I've seen people go for Triss instead. I actually haven't seen like a playthrough. I'm actually am curious to watch like a playthrough of somebody play through The Witcher 3 and then go after Triss instead of Yennefer because I never did that or like I know it's an option, but you know I've never done it or I've never seen anybody do that either. Because for the most part, I feel like everybody, well, not everybody, but most people agree that Geralt and Yen are like, you know,
Mhm.
it's them, right? But you could go Triss if you wanted to, I suppose.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so yeah, they're yeah, I have them on my list as well.
Gotcha. All right. My next one, I also think is going to be on your list. It is Pan Am Palmer from Cyberpunk.
Yes, she is on my
Uh,
list.
there, kind of what you said with Yen. The moment I saw Pan Am, I was like, "Yep,
Mhm.
she's the one."
She is. Yep.
And it's. I like how it is. Also, like, it's sweet. Like it starts off with like they kind of flirt with each other. It's not like they just end up together. Like you see it grow over time. Especially there's a moment. I think what is it? They're waiting out a storm, or there's something where they're like staying the night together in this room. And there's a moment where Pan Am like looks over at the main character, and you're like kind of looking back. It's like that moment made my heart skip a beat in real life. So I was like, yeah, that's the one right there. You know, like so yeah, I had to go with Pan Am for the cyberpunk romance picks. It's just that whole like farmhouse scene, like where they're talking to
When
each
they're on
other.
the couch.
Yes, and like she puts
Yeah.
her legs on V's lap, and like that whole deal is like it's just. Admittedly, the love scene later with the tank's a little weird, but most of the other stuff leading up to that's great.
Oh, you don't like tank? You don't like fucking in the tank, bro? Come on.
You know.
No, I get you. Yeah.
But yes, Pan Am, absolutely, 100%.
Yes, I'll just go ahead and continue that because I do have her on my list as well.
I knew she would be.
V and Pan Am absolutely on the list. I echo much of what Josh said there. That scene where they're like on the couch, you know, after that one mission where they're, you know, just sharing a moment was very nice. And yeah, you get to see their relationship progress over time throughout the game that you're playing. So yeah, I mean, yeah, and Pan Am, she's just also a very attractive lady. So yes, it works out. It works out pretty well. The way that goes, and then you know, just you, it's one of the games that like I when I was making this list, I also tried not to add games like me personally, where like you have like your own creative character on the list, and then you kind of romance another thing or another person, another character. Because I have like you know established characters in here already, but there's a few of them in here like like V is a character, but it's like it's your V, or like, for Stardew, like on your list, it's like, yeah, everybody, you play like the farmer or whatever character's called, but it's like your version of the character, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I try not to have too much of that in there personally, because I don't know, I don't know, but for something like this, I think it was fine, because it's like, yes, V is as a character, but you can have your own version of that. And yeah, no, Pan Am's great. Uh, loved her from the moment I saw her, man. She was she was great. And yeah, just seeing them two go on that journey together. And I actually played through all of Cyberpunk 2077, and I got the happy ending with her, baby. So yes, sir. I love that game. Looking forward to playing the Phantom Liberty expansion when that comes out. So yeah.
Gotcha. My number 4 is a game I've only played once because it is so long, but I enjoyed every moment of it. I streamed the game. Persona 5. Anne's romance with the main character is, I think, all the ladies in Persona 5 you can romance. There's that game has a lot of romances in it. Because it's a JRPG, right? And so I've only ever done the one romance with Anne, and I really like that romance. I really like the character of Anne, and she goes through some shit with the main character Joker, and they become friends over time, and man, it's hard for me not to go into like. Persona is so good, everybody should play it. That's what I'm gonna say. If the game's so good, you should play it. Like it deals with like owning who you are and who you grow up into, who you're growing into becoming as an adult, and you're dealing with your traumas and stuff. Like Anne is a character that's a model, so she's kind of like, everybody kind of sexualizes her a bit, and she kind of owns that, or ends up kind of owning it and growing and dealing with that over time. So I don't want to go into it too much, because everybody should play fucking Persona. It's so good. It's so good. One of the greatest games I streamed on Twitch, I believe. So that's my number 4. DT.
Cool.
What do you got?
Yeah, I haven't played that game. Maybe someday I will. But yeah, I haven't gotten a chance to play that. But yeah, I know you love that game. My number 4 is gonna be Bigby Wolf and Snow White from The Wolf Among Us. Love The Wolf Among Us. It's a fantastic game. I am very much looking forward to playing the second one later this year when it comes out at some point. And yeah, just again, these two and the journey you go with them on the like 5 episodes, I think it is, of The Wolf Among Us. Is really cool. Like, especially because like they don't necessarily kind of start off as like a, you know, a thing, but over the course of time of the game, they kind of like they start off working together, right? Because he's the sheriff and she's, you know, helping Ichabod Crane, uh, with his, you know, mayoral duties and all that. But anyway, I don't know. That's one of my favorite games, and them, you know, seeing them like kind of, it's one of those like loves that like they're not like outright like with it at the beginning, but they kind of like, there's moments throughout the games where they kind of like um like you can see the care they have for each other, right? Like they worry for each other and they care for each other all the all the time. And yeah, it's really cool. Those two characters, I love them both, and I just love the fables, like that fables verse that they're a part of, and just those two get those two together complement each other so well. And I think they, without spoilers of the game, they yeah, there's a lot of things that they go through together, and it's nice seeing where they are in the end of that first game. So I'm looking forward to see where they continue towards the next one.
Hell yeah.
But that's my number 4.
All right. My number 3. So I cheated a bit here and put 2 games here. I have the first game, Bastille from Knights of the Old Republic. It was the first time I fell in love with a video game character ever. We still talk about it. DT and I still talk about this character.
Yeah, I love Bastila.
Love her to death. And it's where I fell in love with Jennifer Hale for the first time. And still love Jennifer Hale. She's the best. The romance that happens with the main character over time is fantastic, and they have this bond that kind of grows, and they kind of steal it for a movie and do a shittier version of it, but we're not going to talk about that. But I just love what a firecracker she is through that first game. Like, I'm not gonna talk about it too much, just mostly because we're gonna have a remake of this game that's gonna come out someday, and I want a lot of people that will hopefully get to experience that for the first time, right? So, so I also put the sequel
forward to that day.
Yeah, so I also put the sequel to this game, this series, Knights of the Old Republic 2, on here. Although I'm not sure if I guess it's romance, but like I just find the relationships between the characters fascinating with Visa Smar.
Specifically?
So I put a slash here. I like Visa's relationship with the main character, but also the Handmaiden's relationship with the main character, and then the way those two interact with each other when there's things going on between the main character, right? So I find that there's a moment with Visas that happens where she looks at the main character with the Force, and the main character looks through at her using the Force, and I find that would be one of the most fascinating and like romantic scenes in a game. Like it's pretty high on my list that it doesn't get talked about very much, and I find that character fascinating. So I kind of cheated a bit, and I'll be honest with you, I cheat on my next one like that too. So I wanted to put it on the list, and I thought I don't want to put like a game and its sequel as 2 separate things. I'd rather them just kind of share a number. So I did that here with KOTOR's 1 and 2 as my number 3. And I'm going to do it again at number 2 in a minute. So how about you, DT?
So for my number 3, I have, this is one of the ones where you can choose many different options. But for my playthrough of my character, I went with, a specific character. So I'm talking about the Mass Effect trilogy and Shepard and Tali. Because that's the one my Shepherd went with. Obviously, everybody has their own options. Like if you're going FemShep, you go Garrus, or if you do male Shepherd, you could do Tali like me, or you can go Liara, or whoever, whatever. But I went with Tali. That's my Mass Effect love interest, and you don't. It's interesting because these are like you don't necessarily start off being able to romance her in the first game.
Mm-hmm.
They don't let you do that in the first one. So you kind of have to like, if you're going for her, you have to like kind of wait it out until the second one. and then obviously the third one. But it's yeah, it's just interesting having that like dynamic of like, oh, you have your eyes set out for her, but you can't. It's just not possible to start off with the first game because like I remember what happened. What happened in my game or in my run of Mass Effect was they were very like they were like almost trying to force Ashley on me. Because at one point during the game, there's a mission where she's like, "Yo, we're this could be the last time we could do anything. You wanna mess around for a little bit?" And like, I was like, "Sure, why not? Fuck it, right? Whatever. I'm not gonna. You mean like this is? I wasn't even trying to go for her, like at all. Like Ashley was not even an option that I was even considering because she's kind of, I mean, if you guys know how I feel about Ashley, she's kind of annoying at times with her like really blatant like just like oh aliens
That first game's rough on Ashley.
and you know all of that bullshit. So I was like, no, I'm sorry, Ashley, you're fine to be a part of my team and all that, but I don't want to end up with you. So yeah, towards like the end of the game they like kind of force her on you because they're because I guess because I didn't really have like a love interest in that up until that point, and then they just kind of like throw her at you there at the end, so you're like, all right, well, whatever, why not, we could die here, let's do it. And
Yeah.
then and yeah, it is until the second game where you can kind of be like, okay, we're done from that. Now it gives me the option to romance Tally, and it's just it's nice seeing them like even through the little stuff. Like when you get to the by the time you get to the third game, when she's like, "Oh, let me do some research about what I can do for us to get it on and all that stuff," right? Like all that, even like just stuff like that is like really really sweet and nice. And she's the little like, "Oh, will we work out?" And like, "Do you really like me?" and all that kind of stuff, which I think is adorable and sweet and just it's nice,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, my Mass Effect love interest was Tally. I know not everybody's is, but that's mine. So
That's what's so great about Mass Effect. If I can jump in here on you for a second, DT,
yeah, go for it.
Is like your Shepard is yours and your romance is yours, right? Like that's the way it's always felt when I play Mass Effect. Some other games aren't like that, but Mass Effect always feels like that because there's just so many different options and ways of doing things and interacting with characters. So like when you say that's yours, that's your Shepard, that's your Mass Effect love interest, man, I feel that because it's different for everybody and everybody's got their picks.
They really do.
All right.
All right, my friend. What's your number 2, right?
My number 2, I have 3 games here. They're sequels to each other.
Oh boy.
I cheated. It is the Dragon Age series. And Dragon, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, as Josh is about to talk about this, I haven't played any of the Dragon Age games, so you guys are not going to see any of that on my list because I have not played them. I want to play the first game, which is Origins, at some point, maybe soonish. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't. I have no. What's the word? I have no thoughts or opinions on it because I haven't experienced it yet. I want to, but I haven't yet. But anyway, continue, Josh.
So this is another one of those games where you have multiple options, kind of like Mass Effect, because it is a BioWare game. There are multiple romance options. The one I go with is the character of Liliana, who is a very complicated character, and I am not going to go super deep into because DT's going to play the game, and I don't want to ruin it for him, and I want him to kind of discover and do his own kind of like romancing options if he so chooses. There's a lot of special moments with this character in this game. I will say DT, when you start up the game, her voice is the one you hear saying the song in in the title menu. So she's a singer. She's a singing character. There's a moment that happens with the main character when the romance kind of happens that involves some singing. So it is a very lovely moment. And that's where I'm going to leave it at. I don't want to go in deep in that one. And Dragon Age 2, my Hawk, my character named Hawk, because Dragon Age 2 is kind of like, they do the Mass Effect thing, DT, where they kind of, you know how like everybody has Shepard? Well, in Dragon Age 2, everybody has Hawk. So the romance option I have there is with the pirate, Isabella, who is... Man, this character has layers, and it's another game where there's just a ton of romance options. She's a very flirty character and kind of uses that to kind of deflect at times. She's a type of character that does like kind of like a lot of one night stands before you kind of become a romance with her. That's just kind of how she is. It's fascinating. Once again, not gonna go super deep into that, just in case DT ever plays Dragon Age 2 as well.
I plan on it at some point.
And then, this is why I can't wait for Dragon Age 4. I can't wait to be like, who am I gonna love in that game? Because each of the games have characters that you fall in love with them. You can't help it. And then the last one, Dragon Age Inquisition, another game with multiple romance options. I go with the character of Cassandra in this. She's a very sweet. She's the type of character that has a very hard edge, but underneath is kind of like a sweetheart. And there's like a very nice lot of lovely romance options that kind of happen in that game. So that's my other cheat. Was number 2 was I put all the Dragon Age games in one number. So that's my number 2. DT, who's your number 2? What you got for number 2?
My number 2 is one you've already mentioned. Is Revan and Bastila from Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. I didn't include the second game like Josh did, but I have KOTOR for sure, the first one.
Hey, that's fair.
Yeah, Revan and Bastila, bonded by the Force to be together. And they go through some shit too, man, because,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we know that... Well, I don't know if I want to spoil it or not.
I know, right? It's hard. You want to talk about it, but it's like
I want to talk about the Darth Malak stuff, but I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah,
there's some stuff with Malak and you know, basically Revan has to help her and bring her back. But anyway, yeah, they're by far one of my favorite Star Wars like Force wielder couples for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And what Josh was referring to earlier is he didn't say it. I'm gonna fucking say it though. They are the original and the best version of the Rey Kylo Ren Force bonded lovers thing.
Yeah.
They are the OGs. They are the best. They still haven't done it quite like they did with them. And who knows if they'll ever do it like them. Hopefully it is my hope that eventually at some point these characters will be brought to live action and they'll be done justice.
Oh my God.
I want to see Bastila and her double-bladed yellow lightsaber and Revan with his purple and red out there doing things. And then yes, they're definitely like, you guys know how if you know me, you know I love Star Wars, so I had to have a Star Wars couple in here and it's video games, so they're obviously going to be the one. So yeah, love Revan, love Bastila, both amazing characters that I hope one day to see in live action. Yeah, they're on my list. So Josh, we're down to it, my friend. Number 1. Who is your number 1?
There is a game I have not said yet that was on DT's list. You guys know it. if you watch this channel long enough, you know it. It's Mass Effect. It is the romance that I went with, which is Liara Tassoni, who kinda gets the most love out of all 3 games with that romance, because they realized after that first game, they were like, man, everybody went for that lady. So they built that on like 3 games, and it is one of the most beautiful, lovely, sweet, amazing romance through that whole journey of the Mass Effects. From the moment you start the romance to the moment that happens toward the end of Mass Effect 3, where they kind of embrace eternity, I guess, that moment before the final battle and all that kind of happens. And there's just so many great moments with Liara that I could sit here all day and just list them all off, but I'm not gonna do that. Just know, if you ever play Mass Effect and you romance Liara, she is a romance for, I believe, both male and female Shepard. You will not be disappointed. What is your number 1, DT?
So my number 1 is maybe one that people might not think about as much. I have it in here because it is a love of 2 people that love each other very much, but ultimately they cannot be with each other. They live 2 completely separate, different lives, and we know that as you play this game, they have a history. They used to date when they were younger, but he lives a life of a very dangerous life, and he doesn't want to put her through that. And she had to, get married and have something for her to have her life be secure and not in shambles. And the couple that I'm talking about is one of my favorite video game characters of all time, and it is Arthur Morgan and Mary Linton from Red Dead Redemption 2.
Absolute
This is
fair.
one of the most heartbreaking love stories
It is.
ever, because again, these are 2 lovers that love each other very, very much. These are 2 people that care for each other so much, and we see this throughout the game. There is missions where Arthur will like go out of his way to help her, and like it is, you hear it through their voices. The actors, Roger Clark, when he like speaks his lines, and you hear Arthur like kind of say things differently than he would to anybody else, and he's like, that's his girl, man, and he can't be with her though, and he knows that, and she knows that, because he's a good guy in a bad guy's world, and she is just, he doesn't want to put her through that. Like, he doesn't want her to be want her to be a part of that. And like there's multiple times throughout the game where you have like side missions with her, and like there's, I think, a specific moment where like she asks him to just leave everything behind and go with her and just leave, right? Like she's getting ready to go on a train and all that, and you know, he know they both know that it's not gonna happen, but she wants to ask because it's a dream. It's their dream of being together. But the reality of the fact is, a lot of the times there is the love of this kind where you have somebody that you love so much, but you just can't be with them. And I think that's pretty, I think it's pretty realistic, because
It is.
there's a lot of that kind of love too, man. And I know a lot of the stuff in here we have is like very, very sweet and very like, they end together and they have happy endings. But I wanted to throw this one in here because I think it's very underrated and very like not, it's not talked about as much. But I think, like, if you've played the game as much as I have, or Josh have, or you love Red Dead, and like for me, like Arthur Morgan, for a while I debated with myself if I liked more than John Marston. I think I do like Arthur Morgan more than John Marston. After
Hey,
having
that's
years
fair.
of like playing both games, and like just having these two characters and all that. I think his story is so tragic, man. Like everything that he goes through and he deals with, and even like with with his love life with Mary, like it's sad, man. It's sad as hell seeing these two people love each other so much, but they just cannot be with each other because they just live two different lives, and you know that's just the way it is sometimes, man. So
Facts.
yeah, that is that's my number one, man. Shout out to you, Arthur Morgan. You're the man. And Mary, she was a good one too, man. Like it's so I know how early remember earlier how I said that I had Abigail and John in here because they're like
Mhm.
they're like the opposite of what happened to John or to Arthur and Mary. Like they got to be together and stay together. And there's even like in the epilogue of the game, we have the two sides of this. We have J- John proposing to Abigail on the boat, with the ring that Arthur gave him. And then we have I'm gonna spoil something from the second game here. So if you haven't played Red Dead Redemption 2, this is your time. I'm telling you right now. Just gonna be really quickly. Spoiler for Red Dead Redemption 2. So John is proposing to Abigail in the epilogue on the little boat from the ring that Arthur gave him. And Mary, I don't know who told her or how she got there or anything like that, but she found this very remote, out of the way gravesite for Arthur. And we have the duality. We have Mary visiting Arthur's grave, and we have John proposing to fucking Abigail on the bow. And it's like, man, one of them gets a happy ending, and the others just don't, man. That's just how it is, dude. And it's sad, it's tragic, but it's also nice because John and Abigail get to have their life together, and even though Mary and Arthur didn't get to have theirs, they were still there for each other when they could, and they still cared about each other, and in the end, she went to go visit him at his gravesite. So that's my number one, man. Arthur Morgan and Mary Lynn. So yeah.
All right, guys, there it is. There's the list of our favorite video game romances. DT is right. This was a hard list to put together. Like,
it really was.
And I feel like I even had like a little bit of an easier time because I play a lot of RPGs, and RPGs a lot of the time have romance options.
Yeah, like the Dragon Age games, right? You got, each one gives you a different option, right? It's like shit. I need to play those fucking games, dude.
You're right. You're right.
I do want to start them though, at some point sooner rather than later.
Yeah. I was really hoping after the Mass Effect remaster, we might get a Dragon Age remaster. I would lose my mind if they did that. Who knows? Maybe eventually it might happen. Yeah, guys, that's gonna do it for the show. We're gonna say our goodbyes. I need to get off here because my toothache is kind of flaring up. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw it over to DT. DT, do you have anything else to say on the last of the video game romances?
No, just thanks for watching or listening. However you decide to watch or view or listen to this podcast, we appreciate it as always. We'll be back, and stay tuned. I got want to be starting up some more story games here now that the PC is all good to go. Looking forward to streaming more of that. Yeah, thanks guys. We'll be back here next time, and follow me on all the things. I try to post on all of them occasionally. I may be more active on some more than others, but I still try to post and keep active on them. So definitely hit me up on all that stuff. And yeah, bye. See you later. See you next time. See you.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching the show and putting up with my tooth pain. I'm just going to be quick because I want to get out of here. Make sure to follow me on all the things. Appreciate everybody for hanging out. Appreciate everybody's patience for us not having a show rather for the last couple weeks. I'm getting the tooth out tomorrow. We should have a show next week. So make sure to come back. We'll see you next Monday, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Take it easy.